All right. What is going on, everybody? As you can see, I am not in my current setup. I hope you guys can hear me okay. This is really bare bones. I don't have my mic. I don't have my camera. I don't have my headphones. I don't have anything. I don't have my soundboard. I don't, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But I'm here. You do have me. So yeah, hopefully we can get through this show and it's okay. Like I said, I apologize if you guys can't hear me the greatest. If I don't sound like my normal self, uh, you know, it is what it is. And I'm also a little nasally and stuff like that. So hopefully everybody is doing okay. And I hope, let me just see if I can hear myself over here, just double checking. Yep. I can hear myself. So that's good. All right. So I am currently at a undisclosed location. I am, you know how YouTube is about this stuff. Um, I'm currently in the protocols. You know what I mean? This is day 8. I'm feeling better, and I should be good to go back to normal in the next couple days. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm done with this. Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is. You guys know my you know I share this stuff with you guys because I've shared it since I've been doing this stuff. Obviously, my wife is dealing with her own health issues, and we have a lot of concerns. And the biggest thing for us is to stay as healthy as possible and also not expose my wife to, anything like this because it will compromise her because of what she's already going through, long COVID and stuff like that. And I still said it. Damn it. The a long C word. Yeah, yeah. Damn it. Hopefully they don't ding me for that. You got to be careful, man. It's so natural to say stuff and you never know. So anyway, yeah, so I'm just trying to stay as healthy as possible, and then unfortunately, it got me. It got me. So yeah, I had to isolate, and so that's what I'm doing right now. And hopefully, I can be back to normal in the normal situation by next week's show. But I hope you guys are doing okay, and happy Saturday to all of y'all. You know what I mean? Let me raise that up a little bit. Yeah, and so let's get it going. And once again, for new people that don't, this is also the reason why you don't see me out and about at a lot of events and different, games and stuff because I'm just trying to stay uh, as healthy as possible and stay out of the big crowds, especially during the winter time because stuff be traveling. um. All right. So looks like weather's kind of nasty, y'all. Ain't gonna lie. Raining all day, going up to a high of what, 44, 46, 40. Yeah. Mm-mm. Not beautiful today. Let me see here. Uh, oh, no, 42. Not even what I thought. Yeah, but, it's warming up a little bit better for the next couple days. Tomorrow, no rain, 56. Monday, 61. Tuesday, 64, sunny. Wednesday 57, and then Thursday 59. Sunny. That's not too bad. You got to take the good with the bad. So that's what the New York area is looking like. All right. Cool. Anyway, yeah. So, like I said, I'm gonna try my best to, hopefully get through the show. Hopefully everything else works okay. Internet seems to be working pretty cool, so I'm rocking with that. And we'll get into these topics. I know some people are already flipping out by the title of the show, but it's I'm putting it that way so that we can have a conversation about it because there's more to the story. we and bear with me 1 second. You guys know I always get congested anyway when I'm drinking coffee and creamer and all that stuff, and it is what it is. But now I'm really, congested because I'm still dealing with the respiratory issues. But like I said, I feel a lot better, and we're going from there. And of course, got my, I want to say bodega coffee. Okay. So yeah, so I know some people are kind of up in arms about the thumbnail and the title of the show, but like I said, it's for a conversation for us to talk about, what we're actually witnessing, what we're seeing. We already know that, of course, the Knicks haven't been playing well, you know, and it's frustrating because they technically have been playing well, but you guys have all witnessed it. It's been 1, 2, maybe 3 quarters, and for whatever reason, when we get into the fourth quarter of these games, the Knicks' focus is gone. The Knicks' um, energy is lowered a little bit, but more importantly, the defensive pressure and the resistance is like obliterated. Like teams are getting whatever they want in the fourth quarter. They're able to come back, take the lead, and then that's it. Knicks are done. After leading the game comfortably at different points earlier in the game. So that's a little concerning. I mean, no, it's not a little, it's a lot concerning. I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't. I was watching Nothing But Knicks. Was it 2 days ago? And I had mentioned to Sim that it's giving me deja vu of the Knicks 3 years ago. You guys remember the Knicks 3 years ago, that um, we could not close out games in the fourth quarter. And that was the year that we lost a lot of games when we had 20-point leads. Remember that? We lost 6 games after having 20-point leads. And not to mention the games we lost when we had, maybe leads that weren't 20 points. We're not even talking about that metric. But yeah, so that was a very disturbing and frustrating year. And lately, I've been feeling a little bit like that. Not that we're having 20-point leads that are getting evaporated at that rate, but we're having leads, we're controlling the game. And for whatever reason, going into the second half, things start to collapse a little bit. Third quarters are iffy. And then the fourth quarter, it's over. So, yeah, that's very frustrating. The play of the players. Which we'll get into a little bit more as the show goes, the players have kind of been up and down as a unit. Yes, there's been individual successes. Guys have stepped up and had good games at different points throughout the stretch. But collectively, they're not playing good as a team when it matters. Crunch time, fourth quarters of games, the mistakes, the issues, like the lack of focus. It just feels like they don't. And I know they're prep. They have to have preparation, but the lack of focus is creeping up throughout these games because pressure moments. The Knicks were a team that struggled at that, especially 3 years ago. Then we got Jalen Brunson, and then we got Josh Hart, and our identity started to change, and our focus started to change. We started to make better decisions because we were making even worse decisions before. Then they came here, and we started making better decisions. Then Dante got here, and we really started doing things at a more improved high IQ pace, right? Of course, Hartenstein helped with that too. But then, for whatever reason, this year we've seen mental lapses with this New York Knicks team throughout, several different months. Then we've kind of we got it down. Um, but for whatever reason, it's just gone back to back to the wayside. It's like all of a sudden these past few games and even the last month of the season, our focus just doesn't seem like it's where it needs to be, especially closing out games. Then you got the history of playing these certain teams like Boston and Cleveland and just not being able to do anything with them, even playing better against them. But in the end, if you catch the loss after playing hard and in some cases having a good lead throughout the game, to catch that loss again, it's deflating. It's deflating. Definitely, it's got to be deflating for the players, but it's definitely deflating for the fan base because we witnessed what we've been watching all year of getting blown out by these teams. Now we finally come, our own. We don't. I don't think Knicks fans make excuses for no reason. We make excuses because that's what's going on. Unfortunately, we've been dealing with a lot of different things, and now you get to the situation where, like, okay, we had the excuses. Now we are somewhat healthy, and still the same thing. That's frustrating. That's frustrating. And yeah, I don't know. I get the frustration from a lot of guys, a lot of fans. I get it. It's just it's stressful. It's not right. It's not right to watch it and think we finally, because our whole thing is we're looking at it and saying, yeah, okay, these teams are better than us. They have their their chemistry together. They've been together longer. But then we say, okay, we're still developing our chemistry, but also we've had to deal with some injuries as of late. Guys have been in and out. We haven't had a full squad, but now finally we're coming together. Finally, we're getting healthy. Yeah, I know that Tibbs rested a couple people, but I got to tell you, to be honest, watching the games and the way the Knicks were playing, it's not an excuse I want to use because the Knicks were at some points winning, at some points winning by a good margin with that same unit that is minus players. No reason why we shouldn't be able to win these games. To me, that points to the lack of focus, the lack of killer instinct, the lack of fight in the fourth quarter to get it done, making terrible, bonehead plays, throwing the ball away, not catching the ball, not focusing on what you're doing, thinking about your next step before you even secured the basketball. Stuff like that is all focus and preparation, and it's just slowing yourself down. The moment can't be too. If you want to be good and win a championship or be in contention for a championship, the moment can't be too big. If the moment's too big, then you're not good enough yet, right? So that's the thing that I'm looking at when it comes to the Knicks. The moments seem to be a little too big for them because they're making these mistakes that they shouldn't be making. And they didn't used to make them before. Like last year, they weren't making these same mistakes. And we had less talent and we were without players. This year, with some would say more talent, we're making these mistakes. So, yeah, it's pretty frustrating. I get it. I get it. Um, I think the other thing that I wanted to get to because unfortunately, I even thought about going on and doing a show in the middle of the week because I didn't want to not be able to talk about certain things, but then of course I was dealing with the health issues. So, for example, one more second. Sorry, congestion. That is what it is. Um, the Boston game. Now, the Boston game is very frustrating for me because I couldn't watch it. So I was already here at this location. Um, and I do have MSG available, but I was watching. You know, I can watch games on my phone or whatever, but I didn't have TNT. So I could not watch the Boston game. So and actually what I was doing is I was watching along or, kind of listening along uh with the Watch Party show with the New York Post and Dexter Henry and Brian. I was there kind of living vicariously through them. And then, not being able to watch the game and see the ins and outs and how the Knicks played, but I could hear that they were playing well. It was frustrating for me because I'm like, I want to see it, but I couldn't see it. Right. And then, in the end, knowing that the Knicks had, at points, decent leads, then watching them, knowing that they, went down to the wire in regulation, and they had a chance to win the game. And then Jason Tatum tied it, right, and forced an overtime. Um, that was frustrating. And then watching, or at least listening to what was happening in the overtime and the whole thing with Macau getting the ball and losing it. But listen, guys, I know people might focus on that a little bit, but the Knicks were down 3 when Macau was supposed to catch that ball, right, to give them a chance. You know what I mean? But they were down 3 already. My point is, it shouldn't get there. Like the Knicks have to in these games and get the victory before getting to overtime. That's one. Two, I know this team is different, right? We've got Macau, but Macau's a defensive player. We got Cat. Cat is not the best defensive player, but the point is we are supposed to be a solid offensive team as well. We should avoid going to overtime in that situation, but we got to hang our hat on our defense still. It still has to remain there. So the fact that we're up 3 in regulation with seconds left and Jason Tatum has the ball, there's no way. Let me just tell you this. There is no way that Jason Tatum should have an opportunity to shoot a 3 to tie the game. Okay? I don't care what you want to say, well, how it needs to be done. There's no way that Jason Tatum should have been afforded the opportunity to shoot a 3 to tie the game. Okay? That is my first thing that I want to say. Secondly, um, if you're going to try to defend that type of play, first off, either you make a decision. You say Tatum's not going to beat us. All right, let's double team Tatum and get the ball out of his hands and let somebody else shoot that 3. If that's what you want to do, right? If you want to play straight up in those terms, whatever, that's number one. Here's number 2. The Knicks had a chance to foul Tatum and send him to the line. That is an NBA play that multiple coaches do in that situation all the time. You're telling me that Tom Thibodeau doesn't enforce his guys to foul Tatum and just make this a back and forth game? It allows the Knicks to retain the lead. Why wouldn't you foul Tatum and put him on the line? Like, I'm very confused at Tom Thibodeau. That is a big lapse in judgment. I don't. The players want to say, "Well, we didn't know exactly what things were happening." No, no, no. It's not about what you know and what you don't know. I know Josh kind of came to the defense of things were happening and we didn't necessarily. No, you're supposed to know. And I'm not saying the players are supposed to just go foul them. No, Tibbs is got to tell them. I don't care. Well, it doesn't matter if the team knows what you're doing. Tibbs needs to be screaming foul, foul, foul. Doesn't care. Everybody in the arena is supposed to know what's happening. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to foul him. That's 2. 3. Now, I love what I've seen, from OG Anunoby the past 10, 11 games. I think he's been great. I mean, of course I think he had a little bit of a dud once Brunson came back, but and plus, remember, defenses know what OG's trying to do, and they're trying to avoid the ball in his hands. So they're making it more difficult for him. But I love what I've seen from him. But here is the thing that I don't like. And I haven't seen anybody talk about it yet. And as soon as I saw it, I was very upset about it. And I didn't understand. Um, Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. So I'm not talking about it, and you guys don't, can't necessarily see what I'm saying. Uh, um, man, I gotta. Let me see if I can get it on Jason Tatum shot. Let's see. Let's see if it pops up. I don't know. It may not. There it goes. Yeah, here it is. I actually found it. Who knew? Okay, here we go. Let me stop this. All right, I'm gonna share this with you guys so you guys can see. And look, like I said, I'm in a different location. The internet is working somewhat well. I don't know how videos are gonna come through, so I hope you guys can see what I'm saying real quick. But if not, then I apologize. But I'm trying. Share screen. Here we go. All right, let me get myself out of here. All right, so and this is perfect. It's a good angle of it. It's better to see it from the side angle to see how much of a separation it is, but you could see it from here. I'm sure you guys remember this play. You see, OG Anunoby had to fight through a screen. He picked up Jason Tatum again, and he's right with him. Right now, let's watch this play. And this is what frustrated me, got me really upset, and I was like, "What is going on? Why is this happening?" Okay, so Jason Tatum's dribbling. You see, OG's right with him, right there. You see, he's trying to just put the hands on him a little bit to stay close, right? Right here. This is my problem. Do you see where OG Anunoby is and where Jason Tatum is? Now that's subtle. It's subtle. Let's look at this again. Right here. Obviously, OG's putting his hands on him. Tatum is trying to shield and put his hands on OG as well, right? And push off a little bit. But this is more than a push, okay? It's not about the push because as much as Tatum is going to kind of give himself a little bit of room to get the shot off, forget the little push because it looks a little bit more demonstrative than it is. It's not that big of a push. Here's my problem. The problem I have with this is the Knicks are up 3. It's the end of regulation almost. You have your best defender on Jason Tatum. And this OG knows this. OG is a very smart defender. Why did he even fall for the pump? Because you can't really see it here. On the other angle, you can see that what Jason Tatum does is like a little bit of a jab step. Why would you fall for a jab step when you're down, you're up 3, and he needs to shoot a 3? If he wants to go to the hole or come inside the 3-point line, you let him. It's a 2-point shot. Why would you even fall for that? This is what I've been frustrated about because I haven't seen anybody talk about it. I was very confused at how OG even let himself get in that situation. Like if Tatum's gonna drive, he drives. Who cares? And that was very confusing to me. It's almost like he was like, I'm trying to protect against giving you a 2. No, take the 2. That's why he was so far away from Tatum. It wasn't just that Tatum pushed off a little bit. It's just also that OG's body was leaning him that way, like he had to prevent him from scoring a 2. It's like almost OG said, I'm going to stop this guy from scoring, period, which is ridiculous because we were up by 3. If he takes a 2, he takes a 2. We're still leading. That I just wanted to bring that up, guys, because that frustrated the hell out of me. I didn't understand what was going on here. I could not for the life of me get it. I didn't understand because I know, like I said, like the average person looks at this real quick and thinks, "Oh man, Tatum pushed off. Look how that." No, it's not just pushed off. OG's body was leaning in that he was caught. He hit him with the little jab step, and he had him leaning. What are you talking about here? It's a 3-point shot. You give up the 2? Whatever. I'm back on the screen. Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there, man. I that was frustrating the hell out of me. And that makes me worry about the Knicks in general. Like when we're playing defense, what we got going on, what is the focus? Now, granted, another thing I want to say, guys, because I don't know. Like I said, I couldn't watch the game, so I don't know if the Jason Tatum play was like instantaneous or was that out of a timeout. Because if it was out of a timeout, it's even worse. If it's out of a timeout that the Knicks had a chance to prepare, okay, they're gonna get the ball to Tatum. He's gonna try to do. If it was out of a timeout, then that means Tibbs could have schemed up something. He could have taught. Listen, no threes, no threes, whatever. If you're playing no three defense, that means you have to be up on the guy. If the guy pushes off on you, whatever, you stay right with him. If the guy wants to go past you, fine. It's a two. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. Like, so I don't want to say if it's out of, I don't know if it was out of a timeout, but like I said, that makes it even worse. Okay. All right. I'm just, you see where I'm going with this, but we're gonna talk about all the other stuff that you guys are frustrated with. We're gonna talk about the fact that the Knicks seem to be a fourth quarter collapse type team right now, and going forward, how does that translate to them winning consistently in the playoffs? I don't know. I don't know. And then we'll talk about the rope a dope things and all that stuff as we continue. So like I said, I'm not giving you guys the wrong impression. I don't want you to think that I think Tibbs has got these guys losing on purpose or whatever. No, there's issues with this team. When I say the rope a dope stuff, shout out to NBK and others who might have brought it up. Is Tibbs? The question is Tibbs saving some strategy and some defensive matchup preparation for the playoffs, right? Not exposing his whole hand now when it doesn't matter at this point. That's part of the question, right? Because we were talking. I was watching them talk about it a little bit, and it brought up something I thought it was very interesting. But that doesn't mean that I think that Tibbs is okay with losing. That he's just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. They come back in the fourth quarter. We're not going to play that hard on them. I don't think any of that. What we're witnessing in the fourth quarter of these games is a negative. All right, Tibbs has got to clean this up because there's something happening here. All right, 1 second. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link out there just in case if there's anybody available that wants to jump in here. And I'm going to go through the chat and say what's up to you guys. Hope everybody's doing well. I know it's a tough time right now. I apologize that we have to go through this because I feel like I got to say something, man, because these Knicks, they're making it tough. All right. Okay. All right, so the link is out there. Let me also, while I have a moment, let me put the Discord link out there as well, guys. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do. You know what I mean? We want to be able to continue to talk about this stuff, especially if we could talk about it live when it's happening, even better. But yeah, man, join the Discord if you haven't already. Let me get that link. Mm-hmm. Right. Uh, uh. Okay, let me put this link in the chat real quick for you guys. All right, so that's the link for the Discord. If you guys haven't joined already, please check it out. We'd love to have you. I'll pin it so it makes it a little easier for people to see. All right. Okay, so let's see what's going on in the chat. The first thing I see. Oh. Shout out to Crib's dad. He says, "Fire Tibbs." What's going on, my brother? Appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the SKF Army. Salute to you. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to everybody tuned in on X. Shout out to those tuned in on YouTube. Please smash the like button if you haven't already done so. Let me I'll come back to the chat and and say what's up to everybody. I see I got my guy out there. He's in the streets. Let me get him in here real quick.
What's up, fam? We got the still Knicks fan street team out here.
What's
Spreading the
going
good
on, brother?
word of Ron. Ron looking real clean, unlike our Knicks.
Hey, man. It's tough times. It's tough times. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Passover just started, so no bread for me today. Doing some errands. But man, what an interesting time to talk Knicks, huh?
Yeah, I got to tell you, Knicks find new ways to frustrate the fan base, man. They never, it's not surprising, bro.
The innovation is really amazing in that
Could you imagine that we so frustrated by the way they play against these top teams? Then they go out against these top teams. I mean, whatever, say what it is, it's close to the end of the season, they're rested player, whatever. But Boston was playing everybody. Knicks go out there and actually put up a fight, look good, only to falter and fall in the fourth and actually into overtime. Then you play in Cleveland. You pretty much got their number the whole game. Then you let Garland go off and get busy. You don't double team. They don't have anybody. They don't have other guys that you really have to worry about as weapons. And so you just let Garland run amok. We're supposed to be a defensive team with guys like OG and McBride and McCall out there, and you're telling me one you can't stop him individually. Fine, I mean he's a talented player, especially when he gets going. But he's killed the Knicks at multiple times, so they're limited. You don't double team and take the ball out of his hand. Like I'm so frustrated.
You know what's crazy about that too is that we've unnecessarily double teamed people the entire season, but the one time you need to double team someone, you don't.
It doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. And there's certain guys in that Cleveland Cavalier team, they can shoot a little bit, from outside. That's fine. If you let put somebody else in a situation where they have to put the ball down on the floor, and make a dribble, right? These guys don't have the same skill set that Garland and Donovan Mitchell have. Like crazy.
Max Strus wide open back to back, bro. Back to back plays. How many times? And he already is a known Knicks killer.
I don't know. I don't know. And look, now it's I told you guys I'm on the fence. I go back and forth. I said before, I'm a fan of what Tom Thibodeau has done for this team and what he's helped bring to the culture and got us out of the doldrums. We're a respectable team. We're here doing something that people can, cheer about. But the bottom line too is I said if he doesn't do the things that we need that are necessary to get victories and to make this team better, then he may not be the answer and we need to think about getting rid of him in the offseason. I'm still giving him some grace, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Like a Tom Thibodeau team is supposed to be focused and prepared, and I don't know. I don't know, man.
Ron, I wanted to say one reason I wanted to jump on today. One thing that I read, because I'm not a historian of basketball like some of the guys you have in the Knicks community like yourself. I wanted to do my research and learn. Tom Thibodeau's Minnesota Timberwolves were the worst performing fourth quarter team in the NBA. The worst. And if you look at the numbers, it's shocking because they were actually, for 3 quarters, a great team. Numbers crazy, but the fall off from the other 3 quarters to the fourth was insane. I'll bring up the article if you want, but they were the worst by a good margin. And once I read that, I was like, yo, it's something about the way that this dude maybe it's a miss. I don't know what it is, but like, I feel like, there's that saying like, oh, the lead is never safe. I feel like specifically with Thibs, the lead is never safe. Like he sets up these situations that's like, whether intentionally or inadvertently, that leads to these like high pressure, crazy last minute games that get away from him somehow,
Yeah. That's you know what? I'm not surprised by that. That's a really good find, D-Rex, because I'm not surprised by that. This is not like it's something new that's affected a Tom Thibodeau team. As his tenure being a Knick coach, we've seen this 3 years ago. I pointed to it again. I brought it up, the deja vu thing. This is what we did. We would do the same thing. I don't know why this is creeping up and rearing its ugly head. Maybe it has to do with the fact that he plays his guys so many minutes. So by the time the fourth quarter happens, we just are a step slow. Our focus is off because we're tired. I don't know what it is, but it's
You
definitely
know, I
something that
think
keeps
I think
happening.
that's part of it, but one part of at least my reasoning is that the burden of the responsibility is unevenly distributed. And by
Uh,
that what I mean is that the pressure to make every single possible game impacting play in a tight game comes down to the same five people, more or less, you know? And when you have that many times to step up and fail, and it's hard, bro. People is not going to always do it. It wears on you. It wears on you. It's difficult to always be under that pressure, that ultimate pressure of the game is tied. You know, you have to maintain the lead. Like you can't have one other dude step up and make that crucial play ever. So it begins
right.
to the weight of it gets to crush you eventually. You know, I think that's part of it.
Yes, you might be right, man. Because I just think that it's very frustrating to watch them go out there time and time again and do certain things that I thought they already like. Don't get me wrong. I expect the NBA team, especially trying to fight for contention and fight for a title, make it to the playoffs, and be a top seed, all that good stuff. You're going to go through certain things, but the Knicks already went through a lot of the stuff getting to this point. They've already kind of to me, they've gone over the hurdle. They've shown that they're a better IQ basketball team. They make better decisions going. And I'm watching us revert. We're making the bad, sloppy turnovers that we weren't doing before. We had cleaned that up. So I don't know what's going on.
You know, I think it's interesting, especially in a Piston series, because one thing people were saying before the game the other night is that, oh, the Pistons turn the ball over a lot. That'll be good for us, right? Well, what if they turn the ball over a lot while making you also turn the ball over a lot? Who has the advantage there? I think they're more comfortable with that kind of game, honestly, where the ball just going all over the place and it's like a scramble. I think the Pistons prefer that than us.
You might be right, man. You might be right. I think that plays into the. Well, I mean, then that's a old school Detroit Piston type of way. Like they used to like make it a sloppy game, and it would benefit their style of play. Mm. Shout out to my guy Corey. What's going on, Corey?
What's up, Corey?
What's good, bro? Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah, yeah, we hear you.
We hear you. We hear you.
Yeah,
What's up? You out on the street?
I'm in transit right now, so excuse me. If, you know, what I'm saying I got the windows up. Matter of fact, I'm turning the air just so I don't choke myself out. But yeah, man. Listen, I think Knicks fans missed the bigger picture. Maybe what Tibbs is doing is getting film out on everybody. Not only just that, but also too mixing and matching and implementing different game plans because I really don't think he's putting too much effort in these last 4 or 5 games. We already achieved our goal. You know what I'm saying? Third seed, playoffs, you know, some buys, you know, and then and then we move on from that point on. So I think we're looking at it too much because we want too much. We want as Knicks fans to win every game. We feel like we should achieve and win every game. But with that said, is like Tim's not looking at that. He's trying to really add extra stuff to it late in these games. That's just a perspective that we need to sit back and think about. Because I talked about that with Freezy last night, and not only that, but also too, with my consigliaries. You know what I'm saying? The 718s and we all sat back and we had a long thought about that and it's a perspective that we you know what I'm saying we need to look at too before we even because listen, the regular season's over. It's a wrap. Let's let it go. You know what I'm saying? We didn't win the mid-season tournament. Okay, so we're not the regular season champs. Okay, that's one. Two, you know, it's time to achieve the major and most important goal, the Larry O'Brien. And I'm done.
Well, I mean, listen, I hear what you're saying. Hold on, let me get my guy Jay in here. Hold on. All right, and
Morning.
what's
Morning,
happening, Jay?
Jay.
Had everything good. Oh, I love the hat.
How are you
um,
guys sick, man? Take care of yourselves. What is this?
hey,
No,
man.
I'm not. No, I don't know what it is. I'm like, I don't know. I just, to be honest, I just woke up. I feel horrible saying that out loud, but I really did.
Hey, at least you
So,
had a nice sleep.
yeah, I really, well,
Listen, get your humidifier going. Get some matzo ball soup. I'm not with this, y'all. Y'all got to take care of yourselves.
yeah.
I'm trying.
Oh,
Listen, man. Look, I will tell you guys this. It may not seem like it because obviously this is happening right now, but generally I don't get sick. Okay, this
Me
is the
neither.
second time I've
Never
gotten
get
sick in the last 4 years, and it just it is what it is. It's got me, so I got to deal with it. Let me switch this up and bring my
Wait,
other guy in.
I'm lying, man. When my kids were small, I told people September, October, don't ever call me. That means the moment that they went to school, brought back whatever they brought back from those other little kids, I was done for 2 months. You can forget about it.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, it was hard.
Um, so let me do this real quick. Before we really, continue and get going, I'm just gonna run through guys because I normally have this already done. But let me just do a couple things real quick. First off, let me get to my super chat here. And you guys know I'm not in my setup, so you know what it is. That's all I got. Sorry, Crim's dad.
We'll try to help.
He says, "Shout out! Thank you for the generous super chat, my brother." He says, "Dork must interview New Yorkers. Ask them if they want to keep or fire Tibbs."
I'm happy to be the man on the street, bro. I think we
He
know the
Rex is our
answer,
man
but
on the street, man. He's out here. What's the word of the people?
yo, what's up? Yo, squirrel. Yo, squirrel. You want tips?
Oh man, appreciate you, Crim's dad. Oh wow. Oh ow. Oh man, he's like asking for a refund because he didn't get his sound effect. My bad, bro. Pew, 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 pew. All right, so let me just do this real quick. This is super easy. So don't mind me, guys. I'm just all right, so let me see how can I do this. Shout out to Crim's dad. Shout out to Walter Blackman. Shout out to M Gene. Let me see here. Shout out to my guy Andios. Appreciate you, my brother. Hold on. Got all this stuff here. Here we go. Shout out to Nostalgic Nick. Appreciate you. Uh, okay. Shout out to Leon Mitchell. Leon wasn't happy about today's. He said first round exit or second round sweep fire Tibbs. The fire sale start all over again. Get Leon Rose to resign with dignity. Wow. Whew. Upset.
Leon Rose, nah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be all right, man. I'm not happy right now, but I think it's gonna be all right. I don't think it's abandoned ship fire sale, but that's a little bit much. We haven't even hit the playoffs yet. We don't even know what we're gonna do in the playoffs, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute because you know, you may even though I'm talking a lot of stuff, you may be surprised what I'm gonna say, or maybe you won't be. Shout out to Mets, Knicks fans. Let's go. Shout out to Jeremy Nussbaum. What's going on, Jeremy? Cardiac Nick's in the building. JJ's here. David Smith is in the building. What up, David? Let's see. Miguel P is up in here. Thank you for being a member of the SKF as well as JJ. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to the Predicate. Appreciate you. Nickinator tuning in from X. What's going on, Nickinator? Appreciate you. I caught your recap the other day. Dope stuff, bro. Keep it going. Let me see. We got L Dammit in the building. What's going on, L? Pew pew. I don't got nothing, man. I'm bare bones out here. What's
Pew
up,
pew pew
L?
pew 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 pew.
Shout out to Joey Rip 'em Up Sports. What's going on? Randu's in the building. Thanks for being a part of the SKF Army, Randu. Five Adam is here. What up, Five Adam? D-Ras is in the building. What up, D-Ras? Let me see. Breezing through, guys. Really super breezy. Okay. What up, Kev? Kev's in the building from co-host of Knicks and Ish. Please check out Knicks and Ish if you haven't already. Dope squad over there. Enjoy the content. All
Yo,
right.
Ron, can I say something?
Go ahead, Corey.
Now I'm gonna show you something better I can tell you. Yo, Ron keeps it real.
Ah, let's go.
Ron
Yeah,
keeps it real. If y'all don't
appreciate you.
know, Ron keeps it real.
Yes, Corey.
You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna
Let
say
them
that.
know. Let them know.
Shoot. Man, I think it was New York Knicks will be.
I
Yeah.
threw a I threw a left hook at you. I know.
No, you good. Knicks will be 2025, 26 champs. He got his hat too. He sent me the picture and showed me he got his. You can continue, Corey. I just wanted to throw that out before I forgot.
I want you to explain to the fans
All right.
About
Well,
them
listen.
what I
champs.
So, I
expressed.
mean, a couple people's getting their packages now. The stuff went out. I mean, it takes a little minute for it to get delivered, but you see Corey sporting his hat. That's from the raffle, so it's real, guys. People getting their stuff. It just some people, I don't know, man. We did the raffle twice, and they won, and they didn't claim nothing. So I'm hold on to that stuff. The next time I do a raffle, it'll be open for everybody. It's not just going to be for the members, and I'm a raffle off the same stuff and more. We're actually going to do a bigger raffle because there's more people. Well, we'll try our best. I mean, money's money. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
that's.
But
I thought I was next man up. That I was so excited, bro.
yeah, it's coming. We gonna put your name in the raffle again. We'll see. You might have that luck, man.
No. I'm just messing around. That was cool.
Shout out to everybody, man. Thank you guys for participating in that as well. I mean, just being a part of SKF. Shout out to
Nah,
Louisiana.
I'm grateful to be a part of SKF.
Yes,
Yo,
you are, sir.
Indeed,
Yes, you are.
myself. Me too, man.
I am. Yo, Jay Chosen, you good, man? You got my text?
I'm actually doing. I'm texting you right now.
There you go.
I'm glad to be part of SKF, and because as I got kicked out, so I feel another group, so I feel accepted here. I make sure not to act up. You know what I mean? Keep myself in check.
We appreciate you over here. Thank you. Shout out
It's
to
all about being
Louisiana Knicks.
adults.
Yes, sir.
That's
Shout out
it,
to
man.
Jersey
But things,
Shore.
things, things happen in life, man. But you know what? We're here to talk sports. It's not that serious. I really enjoy every show that I go on. To be honest, but I just a lot. I got bigger things, man. There's my children and life, and it's
Right.
this is supposed to
Bro,
be the gift. This
you're a
is supposed to be
passionate
the
young man.
getaway, right? This is the getaway.
No, Jay Chosen, I'm gonna say this real quick, bro. You're a
Yeah,
passionate young man. And ain't
yeah.
nothing wrong with being passionate. Just sometimes, you know what I'm saying, as adults, we gotta tame our passions in certain types of ways. You know what I'm saying? We don't know when it's gonna come out or
Facts.
when it does. We don't know when it's gonna
Facts.
come out because we don't know what mood we in. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's why you got to manage your mood. You know what I mean?
A situation, I hear you, brother. I'm 50 years old. When I go into a
I'm
situation,
53,
when I go into a situation, I ain't a grandpa again. Congratulations.
three
Um,
times
Right.
over.
yeah, hell, yeah. Listen, but everything is beautiful. Everything is beautiful. I'm gonna shoot you. I got it. I got you back. Don't worry about it. Everything is beautiful. I don't. I live very peacefully. It's very different.
All right.
Very
Well,
passionately.
all right. Well, let's get back to it. Shout out to Keith Turner. Shout out to Margaret Edwards. Let's go. Appreciate you. And I'll get to
Shout out
some
to
other
all the
names.
ladies.
Yes, I'll get to some other names as we go forward. Shout out to Stacks Different Timing in the building. Salute to you. Thank you for being an SKF member. Let me get to these two more things, quick super chats, real quick, and then we'll get it going back into the whole thing. Pew, 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 pew. Shout out to Big Lou in the building. Appreciate you. Thank you for the generous super chat, my guy. He said, "Good day, Ron and Knicks family chat. It's time in these playoffs. Go Tibbs to play Mitch, Cat, JB, OG, and Bridges. Hart needs to oh, I see what you're saying. He needs to vamos to the second unit. Tibbs is done after the season. I hear you, bro. I listen. I think he might have to shake things up. I think it makes sense to probably put Mitch in the starting lineup to get stuff going. And hold on, let me get my guy Shine here. Get things going. What up, Shaw? Appreciate you, brother. So I'm not opposed to that. I think the Knicks need to.
Big
Look,
bro,
bottom
big
line
bro
is,
cowards.
well, yeah. Bottom line is the Knicks need to, take care of business. There's no more playing around, man. Because not only are we in a situation where we're losing these games in the fourth quarter, games that we should win. And it doesn't even matter about the personnel because the Knicks have shown you in these games against Detroit, against Cleveland, that they can win these games with whatever personnel they got out there. It's the same type of thing we noticed last year, next man up. When guys just play basketball the right way, it matters, but it doesn't matter as much who's out there as long as you're playing the right way, you're getting good shot opportunities, you're knocking it down and playing defense, you could still win these games. And the Knicks could have beat Cleveland, the Knicks could have beat Boston, the Knicks could have beat Detroit. So, it's just frustrating to watch what's going on with that. And I don't care what they're doing. When it comes to saving stuff, we'll talk about that in a minute. Hold on. Let me get to the other super chats real quick. Shout out to Big Lou once again. He said sorry for the typo, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Appreciate you,
that's
Big
something
Lou.
for the pause.
Yo, that caught me out. That really surprised the crap out of me, bro. Oh man, I can't.
Got another one here. You know what it is.
Meow, meow.
He said I got.
Oh man, I went to sleep too late.
He's got his SKF undergarments in the mail. Thanks for the gesture. I'm not sure it matches my drip, however. I hear you. Appreciate you, Crim's dad.
Ron, you ain't sending the cheetah print orange and blue ones?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that camo Cheeto, but it's hard it's hard, man. It's hard to get that. It's limited. Let me get Stacks in here too. What up, Stacks? All right. So look, guys, this is I'll get your opinion on this. But the thought that I have, and other people have it too, and I know that you guys probably don't want to hear this because you're like, well, I don't care about that. We lost, man. I got it. I do feel like Tibbs is not unveiling the whole bag, right? Because I do feel like there's better defensive strategy for certain people, especially knowing that we might have to face.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that. I do feel like he's not releasing the whole defensive bag. That being said, it's still no excuse for us to be losing these games in fourth quarters when you have a chance to win. So I don't care if you don't want to release the whole bag. Whatever bag you in better be better than the bag we've seen because it's deflating. It's deflating for the fan base. It's deflating for the players. And then not for nothing. You guys know these games against these teams. First off, Boston don't have to say nothing because Boston think they got our number no matter what. But Cleveland is talking a little bit. Garland was talking a little bit. Detroit was talking a little bit. Like they feeling themselves. I don't like that feeling. To me, I'm a little surprised that the Knicks would even allow certain things to happen without, chomping back. I do like what I saw from Landry Shamet. I like Shamet's got a little fight in him. I like that. That's good. We need that because we look like we're a little soft. It's true. We look like we're a little soft out here. I'm not saying we got to be back to. We don't got to be the '90s Knicks. Okay, that's fine. That's a different.
We get so
breed.
much back for Precious dunking on Isaiah Stewart.
I
and
like that. Nice
I'm a
plan.
rebuke. I'm a rebuke that that that
Yeah, I gotta go
because
with that too.
I'm
I want
laughing
the
over the fact that you
'96.
think we saw, but we not. I don't think we're marshmallows that much anymore. But I honestly feel
I,
like, bro,
I don't know, bro. I hear you though,
yo,
but
dog, like I'm
okay,
tell
hold
you
on.
something.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you finish. I just think that it's not about what we think or what they think. It's about what it looks like coming from the other team. Because Detroit is a young team that's just found their way. They just popped their cherry this year. There's no way
Who?
that that team should be talking to us or acting like they got our number or they could fight with us. They shouldn't be there. We are
Nobody
way
on the
more
team
talented than
besides
them.
Stewart should be talking.
But
Sorry,
I'm gonna be a
you're
little
right.
provocative, but not too provocative. Yeah, listen. After we, in our lives, we popped our cherries. We still ain't have too much control over over A. Johnson. So what that said, we could be quick or we could be strong, but still doesn't mean that we got our stroke straight. With
Mm,
meaning going forward, meaning talk is cheap. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to spend much to run your mouth. You understand what I'm saying? So when
right.
they writing checks, so when they out here writing checks, because see, I was out here, you know what I'm saying, trolling, looking at these other especially this Detroit podcast, and I ain't gonna put the brother name out there because I don't want them flood with Knick fans attacking him. But still, at the same though, you know what I'm saying? Talk is cheap. We've been proven 5 times over, and until we get knocked out in the first round, then I might be disgruntled. But outside of that, I'm still in a good place because I feel like we have more than enough to get us out at least out of the second round, out of the first round into the second round. Now the second round is a whole different, different argument and a whole different fight. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be 10 toes down and fully healthy for that one. You
Right.
know, and let's stop being out here. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. And I ain't saying this is you or anybody else in Knicks Nation. Nation, not only that, worldwide, Knicks fans worldwide. Let's stop the blood clot crying. We okay. We going into the most important season, the ending of the seasons of seasons. You know, we'll fight for position. We got our position, held that position for the majority of the year. Now from this point on, hey, now we got to show and prove why we deserve to be in that position. Even though we didn't tap, what I'm saying, the taters of the majority of the leaders of the league, but soon come, honestly, in my opinion.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, I don't think we should overreact or panic or anything like that. I just want to get out the negative first before we can kind of, live in the positive because there is a lot of negative out there and some people are dwelling in the negative. I don't even like to live in negative in real life, you know what I mean? Like, we got to kind of wash some of that stuff away so we can live and be comfortable in life because when you stay with that negative, it'll eat away at you. But there's still stuff that is out there that we need to address. And we got to say, like Tibbs, I don't care how good we think we're going to be in the playoffs. You know, certain teams could turn it on. The Miami Heat were classic for that. You guys know regular season Jimmy ain't playoff Jimmy, right? They had their thing. Like at some point they were just tired. They were older team. Like they don't want to deal with the regular season. They didn't turn on until it got to the playoffs. We look like we trying to be the same way, but we haven't done it yet. So we can't just assume that as soon as it happens, as soon as the playoffs hit, everything's going to go the way it needs to go. I
I
hope
fully
that's
agree.
the case, but we don't know for certain. Because let me tell you something. These teams come to play. Cleveland and Boston going to come to play, but these young boys, these young pups in Detroit, I like the fact that, I mean, as far as what they're going to bring is great. Do I think the Knicks are going to beat them? Yes. But I do like the fact that they're going to bring it, and that's going to make the Knicks a better team going into the playoffs. That might help us going into a second round matchup with somebody else. So we'll see. Shah, What's your thoughts, brother, on everything going on and what you've seen so far?
Salute to everyone on the chat. Salute to everyone.
Salute.
I don't have no big nothing big to say. I think the Knicks I don't know if it's me. Maybe I pay attention too much. Maybe I'm just thinking this all in my head and stuff like that. But did you notice when they knew that the Pacers lost the game that they started changing up the way they put players in and stuff like that? They took Shamet out. Shamet was smoking
Bam.
high. They started taking out players that they wanted to hire. So I believe that they trying to isolate. They went out there yesterday, the day before yesterday, and played strategy basketball and
Preach, Shy.
played different lineups and stuff like that. And then when they seen what they wanted to do, when will you thought that you would have seen uh Shamif, Deuce, Payne, Josh Hart, and Precious Achua out there? You know what I mean? After they
Definitely.
seen what they wanted to do. And if you notice it's always right around the fourth quarter in between 3 to 5 minutes left in the game when things change up, when all of a sudden they seem like they don't have it no more. That's the last couple of games. And I one thing we talked about maybe a couple of days on our show was about are the Knicks doing a soft tank? I'm not so sure that the Knicks are trying to do a soft tank in particular because I think they always want to get out there and win. But it has looked a little different the last couple of games, especially getting out to these gigantic, ginormous leads against these teams. And the same plays that you were doing to get you that lead, you're not doing them anymore. You know what I mean? You're trying out different schemes and different players on the court and doing different things. So I'm not saying that they're trying to soft tank, but I knew that the Knicks would stay in third place, even if they made the win. And another thing that I thought, if they didn't do it against these two teams, that they wasn't trying to put too much out there, just enough. Oh, you see what happened? What we could do, right? All right, no, slow it down. No, don't put Mitch out there. We won't put Mitch out there 22 minutes. No, we're gonna put him out here 16 minutes. We're gonna play this. We're gonna have another day off. We're gonna go to practice. This is what we're gonna do this now in practice. It's not the same as being in the game, but we're gonna try this in practice. And I think we'll have a different outcome. The Detroit's, the whosoever. I'm happy that we got Detroit, and I said 4-2 just because I think that Orlando's going to give Boston a run for their money into a 7-game series. So I don't want us to sweep. I don't want a gentleman sweep 4-1. Let's go 4-2. Let's win 2 games back to back. You know what I mean? One at home and one at their place. And let's be ready for Boston after or Orlando, whoever's after the next runner up in the Price is Right.
Now,
All right.
see, and now I say that, I so totally agree with Shaw Powers because I did the same thing. Like we used to do that in preseason football when I coach high school football. I'm not gonna expose my whole game plan to you. I'm going out there with 10 plays, offensively, defensively, and after that, I'm gonna run them the whole 4 preseason games that I got before I get into the regular season, before I open up the playbook and get more film and tape on every team that I know I'm about to face each season, during the regular season.
Can I be the cold
That's
water
why I
guy
said,
for a second?
on a second,
Stacks, stacks.
give me a minute. But that's why sometimes coaches do that, and then real talk, a lot of wise said something to me so real to me that these coaches are more ultra competitive than the players are deeply. So think about that first before we play
Yeah, can I
about it.
be the cold? Can I be the cold water guy for a second?
You can be whatever you want.
What I'm hearing right now, I can describe in one word: hopium. We are hopped up on some hopium, bro. For me right now, this coach is on fraud watch. I'm not giving him no flowers he didn't earn. To
Cope.
imply to, to imply that this entire season he's just been playing one level of chess and there's an entire other hidden level of depth to him is borderline delusion. This guy's played one lineup more than everyone else in the entire league.
Hold on. I'll let you, but I don't think they're saying that. I think they're saying what's taking place in the last week. is the
But
preparation for the
I
playoffs, not the
understand.
other
But
stuff. We know what he was doing
Corey
before it was
said is
great.
like, oh, when did he throw out this lineup of Landry Shamet, Precious, and Josh Hart? He throw that lineup out every game. He throw that lineup out every game, and we always kill him for it. Of Josh Hart and Precious together. These are not like 11th dimensional chess playing moves. It's just for me, for him to prove he has
No,
this
Rex,
level
he's
of depth.
saying the ancillary pieces, not those two pieces. Like in other words, what Shaw just said was, when would we ever see the additional, like, three guards and then those two guys together, or what? Like, we've never seen them lineups
But
before.
we had three people missing that game. Also, it's not like he never experiments just to experiment, bro. That's my default position. You had people missing. That's why he tries something else. He never tries something else proactively. I never
Right.
saw
Sometimes
it.
it's out of necessity. I get it. I get what you're
And,
I
saying.
and
get
that
that.
makes
I
sense.
get that.
That makes sense too.
I get
But
that.
okay.
Yeah.
But what I will say, and I want to get to stacks. What I will say is, I, I agree. So what Shaw said and what Corey's saying, I agree, and I believe Tom Thibodeau is doing that. And I also noticed that once they found out that Indiana lost and they clinched the third spot and they didn't have to worry about it, he did do some things that were a little like almost like taking your foot off the gas. But I
Facts.
just I don't like it. I don't like the
I don't
fact.
like it either. I don't.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that you're playing these teams, and it's not like you're playing any. It's not like we were playing the Washington Wizards or somebody. We're playing teams that we might face again in the playoffs. You win the game,
Exactly.
especially they. All of these teams got our number all year. Like, win the game. I don't get it. Like, I hear it, but I don't get it. There's no reason to tell me
This
if
to me
if
is
you get out
insane, bro.
if you
I
get
was
out
gonna
to
say,
a
like,
good
you guys
lead.
are really gonna sit here and tell me that Tom Thibodeau is trying to go into the postseason without one win on any contending team he's gonna
It's
play in the
it's it's
playoffs?
wild
That's not normal. That's not a sane thing to say. I'm sorry.
now, but
It
listen,
doesn't sound same, but the eyeball test, it says a lot different.
are we saying it's a rope a dope style? Oh, back to the title.
Maybe.
Hey, how are you? I'm here all day. But anyway,
That was good. Tip you
I
waiter.
also think I kind of think it could be, not saying that is, but we already got the 50 wins already. We already clinched the third position already. Actually, the third position has been clinched 6-7 games ago. Only thing we had to do was stay up close to to Indiana or whoever it was. It
We
was
already
already clinched
win.
maybe 5, 6, 7 games ago when
Yep.
it was 6 games ago and we was up 3.5 games on Indiana. So it was already, 3 games plus the tiebreaker against them. So it was we already had that thing locked. I and I think that of course, you supposed to rest your players at the end of games, but look at the players that he has took out to rest for a reason. You know what I mean? And and guys look better yesterday, but it's up to the players to show us what they did. Last night, Jalen Brunson said in his interview that they need to get better, pretty much, but not but he said in essence that they need to get better in certain things, and every team needs to get better in certain things going down this stretch right now. Do I think that the Knicks know what they need to do and what they can accomplish? Yes, I think they could do that. You know what I mean? It's not a team that really wants to see the Knicks, especially if they're clicking on all cylinders. If they're playing their A game, man, it's not many teams. We've seen with some of the better teams in the league. They keep talking about these 17s, but we have played some twos, some threes, some fours. We done played a couple of these teams. And when we get up to our game, we have a better outing on our game. The saying is, when we score over 20, 28, 30 assists a game, when we grab 45 rebounds a game, when we shoot over these numbers a game. If we're doing all these things consecutively, I can't. I wanted last night to see Cat and Mitch on the court last night. I don't know if it was just me, but watching Mitch on the court with that interior defense last night, he was like, man, he is good. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a little homerish about Mitch. But last night he made the team look better defensively. Why we had such a big lead in the
You
first
know,
half. You know what I mean?
Shaw, I've been
In the
saying
No,
second
negative
you
half,
know
stuff
how
about
Mitch,
him
Homer
to your
is.
point.
second
The
half, Mitch
butcher that
didn't play
came
that
in,
much.
the butcher
Mitch didn't
came
play
and
much
did
in
his
the
thing.
second half. Yeah. First half he played heavy minutes. He didn't play much in the second half. I think he racked up 11 minutes. First half he had a 19 minutes or something like that. I think it was one of the biggest games he played last night. What was he? 20? Let me not quote. I think I seen 26 or 28, but that was in me looking. But Mitch played a lot of minutes, more minutes than he played
28.
since he
32,
been. How many?
No, it was 28. He played
30, I
28.
thought it was
whatever it
20.
was,
32.
right after I said, why does he only play 12 minutes?
It was
Right, he
Thank you,
played
32.
man.
28 right last night. Right, 28. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
26
Yeah,
more than
over
30.
30.
28.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I think that's what I wish that we could have seen Cat, but Cat needed a break, just like OG needed a break. If we watched the other game the other night when OG was off, he was shoot front rim and everything, get to the line, missing free throws. Not something that we see from OG. He needed that rest. Josh Hart been breaking it down all year long. He needed that rest. If Mikel wouldn't want to get off of him not playing those consecutive games that he has been playing, I think he would already had a rest. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man.
So
good
I
point.
just think going down the stretch, they have some plays that they can do, and they can get their 3-point shot going. And the team looks much, in my opinion, looks a little better when you see Cat and Mitch on the court together.
I
You
agree.
know what I
I
mean?
agree.
With OG and Mikel. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm hoping to see more going down the line because against Detroit, last night, Mitchell Robinson was killing Cleveland. It wasn't me.
I
Do
agree. No,
am I
I agree.
am I
I
feeling like
agree.
a homer? Was he
No,
offensive rebounding and grabbing rebounds and
listen.
making up bulk look small and stuff like that? Was it just me?
He
Let
had
me weigh
7
in for the.
rebounds in those 30-ish minutes, right? And five of them were offensive.
So I
So,
mean, you know,
and look, I get he's getting his legs under him and all that stuff, and he definitely does something that Shaw says on a regular basis. He makes the team go east
East
and
and West,
west,
East
and
and
that,
West,
and
baby.
something that he's been saying all year. I gotta give him props for that. All year, when in like how do we describe a shot? Like a tree pole, like a one of those electric poles right in front of the basket, and you got to go around. And you got to go when you got Cat out there. You got like a matador that just pull up the thing and let you just go bam, So that together they play. It also allows Cat to play his natural position. I think that I hope, and I think that that's where my thoughts about Mitch are up and down. They're like, well, the best of ability is availability. You know what I mean? And that's bothered me a hell of a lot.
But so far, he's been available.
And he's been okay, so
Knock
he's
on
been
wood.
available. And then so my second problem, right. I know you guys are excited. Now my second problem is he's been available on minute minutes. And I'm going, damn, stretch that out a little bit, throw that out. That's all I wanted to see. Put him out. And then I hear what you're saying that maybe, look, this is all, opinion based because we're not in the locker room or whatever it might be. But for whatever reason, he wasn't going out with the minutes like he pulled off last night, which was a very ironic thing that he did that many minutes after I really just said, come on, how come we don't play him this many minutes? And then he does. And then, of course, I'm laughing to myself while I'm watching the game. But, you know, I really, look, I know what he could do when he's fully healthy. And what my thought was, he wasn't fully healthy. Still, right now, to this day, because he was only doing 12 minutes a game. His numbers weren't super, super, super wild. And even though he did change the game last night, there's no doubt about it, and played a lot more minutes, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm expecting more rebounds. This is Mitch, man. What
And watch this, Jay. Just because you said that, when Mitch and Cat was on the court together, you know what Cat did? Cat grabbed, this was two games ago, 3 games ago. Cat grabbed 4 rebounds while Mitchell Robinson was in. You know why? Because Mitchell Robinson blocks out 2 and 3 guys just like he did for Julius Randle. That's why
Julius Randle.
When Julius Randle was here, he was getting 11 rebounds. Now that he's in Minnesota, he's down to 7 or 8. Big
Right.
difference what Mitchell Robinson do. Like you see OG getting more rebounds. You see
20, 10, and 5.
LaKev. You're seeing all of these guys get more rebounds. And I'm not saying this is because of Mitchell Robinson, but Mitchell Robinson just so happens to be on the court when this is happening.
No, no,
Yeah,
So,
he
I
deserves
I
that. He
agree
mean,
with
deserves the
that,
so
credit. Yeah.
saying
100%.
it like that, I'm just hoping my biggest thing is to see Mitchell. If we're gonna do this read and react style of basketball and this 5-man out type of basketball, Mitchell Robinson needs to be on the court. So this way now we have Cat that can shoot the three and he can read and react. And on defense, he can come to crash boards as Mitchell Robinson box out. This is how Randall grabbed a lot of his rebounds, and I seen it. Four
Right,
rebounds. I think it was in like 3 minutes. He
right.
grabbed 4 rebounds with
All
Mitch
Mitch had
blocking
to
out.
do was put his arms up like
Mitch
this, and
exactly
Randall
with
would get the
Mitch
ball.
boxing out who was down there. So I'm just hopeful. Yes, and you're right, Rex. I'm a hope. How you say a hope for Onyx?
Hopium.
Hopium. I got a little hopium this morning, so
Well, you know what? Let me weigh in from the negative side because you'll actually be encouraged. So I'm someone who has no bias towards Mitch whatsoever. Honestly, the beginning of
Hold
the
on a
season
second.
we
I'm on
had,
that hopium too.
yeah, well, huff it up,
Wait,
bro.
wait. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, because we going, and don't get me wrong. I like the conversation, but I haven't heard from my guy, and I've been trying to get to Stacks for a minute.
And I
Stacks.
really didn't say. All I've been doing is agreeing with people. So I'll go after after they're all done, if it's all right, about the games prior. All right.
Okay, all right. Stacks, you with us?
Yeah, Ron, y'all hear me?
Yeah. Okay, all right. Hold on 1 second. Before you do
Yes,
that,
Zach.
because stuff's been sitting. Let me read these two real quick. Pew, 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 pew. You know what it is. Woo, 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 woo. Shout out to Julian Blum. What's going on, my brother? Thank you for the generous super chat. He said, you don't give teams you're going to play in the playoffs confidence for the sake of holding back defensive schemes in certain lineups. You do that, it's game 7, not a series. Hey, listen, I hear you. The one thing I will say is what, Shao was saying. If this is the plan, then you know how I'll know it's true. First round matchup when we play Detroit, we either sweep Detroit or we beat them in 5. If we beat them in 5 or sweep them, then I'll know that the Knicks were kind of just, not, you don't want to say rope a dope, whatever. The Knicks were kind of just going with the motions. They were trying different things out. Now that it's the playoffs, it's the real deal. We're playing our guys. It's pedal to the metal. We're going to win the games and get it done by any means necessary. That's when I'll know that, hey, maybe Tibbs was kind of, footing it around a little bit. He wasn't, going all in like he normally would because, Tibbs loves a win more than anything else in life. Just saying. So I just wanted to put that out there. But I expect that the Knicks are a better team top to bottom than the Detroit Pistons. So I expect to either sweep or win in 5. I know some people think because their Detroit looks good, we should win in 6. No, I think the Knicks are a better team than Detroit, and if they're healthy, it's not a competition. It's just they can make the game close, but we should be winning the games. So, shout out to Paris Duggan. Thank you for the super chat. Pew, 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 pow, 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 pow. He says, play everyone or rest everyone because playing it halfway looks like this. All it did was give our playoff opponents confidence and our guys some doubt. Could be fair. Listen, I've been talking a lot about coaching, right? And no matter what's going on right now, Tibbs still has some coaching improvement to do. If this was the plan, if he took the foot off the gas because he knew that we already clinched, which upsets me to another degree because we could have won one game and did it on ourselves. No, we had to wait for Indiana to lose to get our that bothered me too. Okay, so either way, if that is the case, and this was kind of a little bit of a rope a dope thing, then I would expect that these Knick players are coached up well enough that them losing this game didn't bother them at all. Losing against Detroit didn't bother them at all. The Boston one is a little different because we went to overtime. The Knicks were clearly trying to win that game. But if that's the case, then when we play Detroit, like I said, it should be pedal to the metal. They should come out focused. They should come out, and then even if we don't, if we come out slow and sluggish, the first game, the Knicks should be in the fourth quarter. They should be turning on the gas. There should be no more of this making bad decision making, losing leads. The fourth quarter of these games is going to be decided, and we're going to see that this was the Knicks' plan to, like, we were not coasting, but they took the foot off the gas a little bit and said, look, let's get players some different looks. Let's rest these guys. But when the playoff starts, it's going to be Thibs style. You're playing 500 minutes. Just go out there and do the damn thing. So we'll see what happens. I just want to put that out there. Now back to you, Stacks. My fault, brother.
Nah, you good, man. Before I even say anything, I wanted to say this, bro. Like, I don't care what people think about me, bro, because I know I'm a very nice guy. And if you know me, you know I'm a very nice guy. And it takes a lot to get me mad. But it's really some bozos in this chat. Like David Smith, you're a clown, and Khaled Pasha, whatever the hell your name is, you're a clown too. Like these dudes just want to disrespect Brunson for no reason, bro. They have no logic reason. That's when I call you a clown. When you have no logic reason for disrespecting someone, bro. Y'all just talk about he's not a team leader when that's a factual. That's false. That's a
All right,
fact.
all right. Well,
That's
hold
false,
on
bro.
1 second, Stacks. Hold on 1 second. I hear you. Okay, I know it can get very frustrating. Guys in the chat they have strong opinions. These are the type of people, and there's nothing wrong. Let me just say this. I'm prefacing it. You're gonna meet a lot of people in life, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna meet a bunch of people. Some of these people could be like your brother. You know what I mean? Your brother knows exactly what button to push to get you upset. I don't have a brother or sister, but I know I've watched it, right? They know exactly what button is going to get you out of
Yeah, I
your
call my brother. I'll call him a bozo too.
yeah. Well, well, see, that's different. If your brother can be a bozo, he just But I'm just saying, let's try to keep the name calling, because
Yeah.
the bottom line is, the one thing I try to get across to everybody is, once you start name calling, right, you got to expect that name calling is going to come back to you. And everybody's names ain't soft and cushy, and everybody don't have the same type of mentality. And everybody don't take things lightly. Some people take it more serious than others.
That's a
So I'd
personal
rather
problem,
you
Ron.
stay
I hear
away
you.
from it.
That's a personal problem. I hate him
Yeah,
though.
yeah. No, I hear you, but I'm just saying. But
People be
for
trollish in the chat, bro. It's how
Yeah,
they
people be
operate.
trolling. I'll troll you right back. I got time for the trolls, bro.
I
So I'm
hear
gonna let
you.
you know that you're a bozo. I got
Yeah,
time for
I
y'all.
mean,
Yeah, but
I'm with you.
you know what,
If you want to
Stacks,
call
man,
him,
that I'm
if
just
you
saying,
want to
like,
call him a bozo, that's on you. But I'd rather you do it in the chat than on the show.
right.
But I
Oh
That's
yeah, I
also,
got you, Ron.
the
Don't
Definitely.
other
feed the
thing too
trolls. You
is,
don't feed the trolls.
I just think that you guys can have different opinions about stuff. We can disagree with the opinion, but we should try to leave the name calling out of it. The reason why I say that, and like I said, I don't care. People call me names all the time, and I've lost it on here. So,
No, you know what kills
but,
me, Ron? It's not even opinions. It's lies. It's lies. It's not even an opinion. It's a lie.
well, that's the thing.
That's what kills me.
Sometimes people, say things that are a little sensational, and I get
Hmm.
it. But their truth may not be our truth. I think
And they
sometimes
just prove lies of name calling.
when it comes to
Yeah, it's
trolls,
trolls.
some trolls don't know that they're trolls. They actually really believe some of this stuff. So I got to look at it
I
like it
think
is
it's
what it
probably a
is.
mixture of all of it, Ron. Like a
The
mixture
best
of,
trolls mix a
it's
little
like a
bit of
mixed
reality
salad
with
of
their
all
trolling.
that. And and I'm gonna tell you something, man. For a long time, certain things bothered me. In a couple, and basically what we're saying is what, and Ron is saying is, like, as far as like when we're up here shooting, and we don't like want to represent what he's doing, and all that. And we know Stacks. We know what we know. What we're watching is tomfoolery, right? I'm gonna use
Yeah.
an old school word, right? But it's nonsense. It is what it is. But you know, like when we do that, we lose because we're exploding. We're doing all that other stuff, and then it gets
I'm
slowed
still
down.
learning. I'm still learning, man.
Talking about that, and we'll talk about it later. But yeah, it's of course it's nonsense. I think I've learned to try to laugh at it. But Well, I've done other things too. Like there's some people that I just, if I don't want to see it, I don't see it anymore, and that's that. And I know it
And
sucks, but no one
yeah,
gave me the title to what's that? What I used to say. No one gave me the title to fight. Fight over the Knicks. No one gave me the bodyguard of the
Facts,
Knicks
facts.
title. You know what I mean? So like, no one's
yeah,
paying me to do that either. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right, right.
Yeah, my bad, bro. I tried to
Yeah.
get that out real quick, bro. My
No,
bad,
no.
man.
Listen. I understand the frustration. I've experienced a little bit too. I'm a little better at it because I get it so much up here. But
Yeah.
that's cool. I understand. But let me before you cook. Let me just say a couple more things real quick. First off, Khalid Pasha said, and I'm bringing this up for a reason. He said all I said was Brunson can't be number one option on a championship team.
No,
That's
you
fact.
didn't say that. No, you did not. You
Well,
said more
I
than
don't
that. That's
know.
not all you said. You said more than that. Stop lying.
All
See,
the
he's the
other
liar. Let me just shut up, bro.
All right. Hold on, Stacks. He said all the other stuff you saying isn't hogwash. Brunson ain't winning you a chip as the best player. Look, whether or not we believe that is a whole nother story. I
I'm not
don't see
arguing nothing
that.
that he said. Just I'm not arguing none of that stuff. You said that he's not a winning player and a leader. That's a lie.
Yeah, I mean that's something else. Brunson has won at every level. He hasn't won an NBA championship yet. He's only been a starter on an NBA basketball team for 3 years now. Okay, give the guy give the guy a chance to do what he's got to do. Let the organization build a team around him, which we may have already done, but it takes time. And I think the problem here is, as fans, we are very impatient and we don't understand that this is still a part of the process. For us, the process started 5 years ago, and we're like, okay, we should already be here. I get it. I understand. I'm a Knick fan. I've been a Knick fan for a long time, and I'm not the '70s, but definitely late '80s going on. But so I get it. But all I'm saying is we are still in the process. You don't think Boston fans were frustrated that they got those two guys over there with Marcus Smart and everything they had, and they couldn't win?
Mm-hmm.
They've been through coaches already. They finally won. Just you got to give
Yeah.
it a little bit of time. That's all I'm saying. Now, what he's saying about Brunson not being this is a not I'm not going to say it's a fact because obviously Steph Curry disproved that and it's been disproven in the past, but it's rare that it happens that way. Could Brunson be one of the outliers? Yes, and I think he will be because I'm a Knick fan and I believe in him, but I also know he's won at every level, from junior high to high school to college twice. How many people win two college championships? Not many, but he's got two of them under his belt. So I definitely think he's got the pedigree to make it happen. But the team has to build the right pieces around them. Now, look, and I'm going to say something else that's going to ruffle somebody's feather out there. We got Cat. I like
That's
Cat.
not the perfect player to be
Was
next to
Cat the
Brunson.
right piece to pair with Brunson? I'm not sure.
Not the
Okay.
perfect piece. Not the
I'm
perfect.
not sure. Can it work? Yes. But when you think about it, you're talking about the bottom line with Brunson, that reason why people say you can't win with a small guard is because not just of his height, but also he's not a defensive guy. If he was a defensive guy, people wouldn't be talking about this, but he's not,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then you
Can
put
I
another
weigh in
guy
on
who's
this
a
real quick?
very talented offensive player, who's another person who's not a defensive guy. I don't necessarily love the pairing. I
yeah, I
do think
agree.
it can work, though. I'm just telling you, it needs time. That needs time.
Can
You
I
got to brew that. You got to cook it in the pot on the stove for about 20 hours. I don't know.
can I
You know,
weigh
it
can I weigh in
takes
on this? I just think I could lower the temperature of the room a
Smoking
little
to me.
time. You
bit.
got
Stacks. So you see my name, Dorksaurus Rex, right? I'm a dork. I'm a nerd. I've been on the internet a long time, longer than most people ever should be on the internet. Okay, I've been around a
Yeah, he's
lot
pretty
of trolls in my
straightforward
life.
about it. I like that.
I need to learn from you, bro.
Trolls try. The goal of trolling, in a nutshell, is to make you mad with as little words as possible. If they can say
Right.
2 words and get you to say 1,000 words, then they
Yep.
have won. All right. Even if there's
Mm-hmm.
a nugget of truth in their words, bro, which there is in the best trolling, you still got to take a deep breath and understand that if you're on their emotional tone level, then they have effectively won. You know,
Well put.
if if they're saying all this crazy inflammatory stuff at you and you're keeping calm, they look like a kid, you look like an adult. So just don't let it
Mm-hmm.
get under your skin. Even if the stuff they're saying is partially true, you still have to engage with the true parts of it and deal with the false. and not let the inflammatory nature of it get under your skin. That
I
being
got
said,
you,
look,
bro.
and do what you feel most comfortable with. But that's just my personal opinion. I read what David said. He's up in here every weekend trolling. Rock can tell you, he's in here trolling like it's his damn job. And look, honestly, I respect it because you need someone to ruffle, rock the boat a little bit. You have
Right
everyone
now, not
agreeing,
everybody
all
can be the
agreeing.
get
Make
along,
you
go
think
along
other.
gang. It
Yeah,
can't
make you
always
think
be the get
other.
along,
Make you
go
think
along
other.
gang.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, like, I get it. All right, I know, and we know that there's trolls out there. But what I know, y'all, maybe it doesn't feel like that to y'all, and I just want us to. That's why I'm saying I don't want the name calling, because I want us to still respect each other. We can disagree,
Yeah, then it devolves,
but
and it's not good.
I don't even think, and shout out to David, and I'd give David a lot of rope, because he hasn't done anything that I feel like is to the point where I need to step in and say, all right, that's enough is
But
enough.
you've called what you need to call. You,
Yeah, I
yeah.
just point out certain things that I don't. I mean,
Ron lets the players play. He's a very fair ref.
it's yeah, I
Yeah.
am, and I try. But I will say that I don't think, and this might be, he's gonna be like, yeah, well, I'm not. But you guys might. I don't think David's a troll. I think David believes what David believes. I
And now,
really
Ron,
Facts.
do.
get your coffee. Get your
Facts.
coffee.
I think listen. He believes in Cat. He loves Cat.
No,
I,
no,
I,
no. You're right. You're right.
Look, I
you
actually
know,
wanted to say I read what he was saying, and to a certain point, I think he's right. Brunson is not a defensive maven. He does have the most longest touches per points or whatever in the NBA. Luka Doncic was a better defender on him on the Mavs. You got to be honest, bro. Even Michael Jordan had faults and needed a team built around him. There's no player that's perfect in the NBA and never will be.
right?
So we want Brunson to keep getting better in his game.
David is a liar. He's a liar because sorry for the name calling again because he talks all of this stuff about Brunson, but he wants Trey Young. So I don't hear what you say, bro. Like you have no logical reasons for nothing you say, bro.
He
You
got
say all
you.
this about
He
Brunson,
got you,
but Trey
Stack.
Young has
He
the same
got you.
deficiencies.
Yeah, but he got you
He
right
got you,
now.
Stack.
Like
Yeah,
you got to somehow
He got
right
You let
now.
him get
Look,
under your
look,
skin, bro.
look.
You let
he
him get
got
under
you.
your
Can I
skin.
say
Oh,
something really quick? Look,
man.
you got
Oh,
to put
got you,
on
Stack.
blinders, brother, because if it don't make sense to you,
That's what I'm saying. Don't even make sense, bro. So I'm like,
all
yes,
right,
whatever. I have
it
the ideas,
never
whatever,
made sense
bro.
to me. But what I realized is,
Like, do you honestly believe that, David? Make it make sense,
Yes,
David.
yes,
but let
he
me
Make
ask
it
you
does.
a
make sense,
Yes,
question.
bro.
Why does it
yes,
bother you
Stack.
so
Brunson
Yes,
much?
he
doesn't play
does.
defense, but you want Trey Young. Make it
Yes,
make
he
Yeah.
sense,
Okay.
David.
So
does.
okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Hold on.
Stacks,
Hold,
why is it
hold on,
bother
Jay.
you?
Hold
And
on,
you know
Jay.
what?
Stack,
It don't bother
stacks.
me so much. It did. I was just like you in the beginning. Ask Ron, ask Shah, ask that. Just like you. Flipping out, doing all this stuff. But you know what I realized? That maybe he's chuckling in the back or maybe something else is going on. And you know what? I'm not.
Oh
I'm going, you
man.
know what? What you're going through right now, like, right, what you're going through is this exact thing. When you're in traffic and someone cuts you off and they flip you the bird and you flip the bird and you're angry for 45 minutes. You can't let it go and your mind's pounding. That guy forgot about you the moment he drove off.
Yep.
45 minutes, you're going nuts.
Yeah.
I'm killing my that mother sucker. I swear to God, if I got my hands on him, don't even know what he looks like. Could have
Listen,
been
bro,
a
we New
whole,
Yorkers. We New Yorkers. We should be a
whole
little
Yeah.
more
Hold
woman.
on.
resilient.
My fault, Rob. I switched up the whole mood and topic of the show.
Right,
My
right.
fault,
Could have been
Rob.
No,
a
you good,
Damn
bro.
whole
You
sure
good,
Let's
did,
get
bro.
back to
woman.
the
Stack.
Don't
shot. I
even
want to
know.
respond to shot anyway.
It's the trolling 101 crash course, bro. We got you.
Right.
That's
And
okay.
the
No,
podcast,
and,
not everybody's exactly a Knicks fan, also. I
right.
realize that.
This is actually good because it's good for Stacks to hear this. It's good for other people that are in the chat to hear this too, because you're gonna be in this chat, you're gonna be in different chats. There's always gonna be people that have very strong opinions that may differ from yours, and
Yep.
sometimes things can get a little crazy, can get a
Fact.
little heated. But you gotta have this conversation so you understand that. Look, if you're a fan of sports, you're gonna deal with this stuff. I've dealt with what David is saying right now. Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with everything he says. Sometimes he says some stuff that I do. I'm like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, broken clock is
But
right twice a day.
Yeah, but sometimes he'll say some stuff that I'm like, no, I don't know where he's thinking, but I know that that's his opinion. So all I'm gonna do is give him my opinion, and we go from there. Maybe I change his mind a little bit. Maybe he can sway me slightly, but most likely we're gonna still disagree. But I just like to still keep it fair and keep it cordial, and it's not just because I'm a host of the show. I told you guys, I gave you an example a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. I wilded out on somebody else's show and I felt terrible. I was like, why am I doing this? I got this guy, he got me. He got me, Stacks. This dude got me. So I get it. Okay? It's cool. It's cool. But all right, let's get back to your points though. Let's move away from
Yeah, I
that.
wanted to
Don't worry
respond
about
to
the
I
other
Ed.
feel
stuff. Let's get to
horrible
your point.
because I love the guy that I did too, man. Like, it could have been a better situation. I could have listened more. I could have backed off of it. I could have just said, "All right, cool, I'll call you." But you know what? I was so locked into my position on things that I couldn't see that way.
See, like look what he
So
just said. Team
publicly, I'll
has
just say this, man. Yo, I apologize to Divine and Deshaun of their show. I'm always on there with them. But what I said, I felt. I meant it. But I hated it the way it went. And sometimes emotions do
Yeah,
that. The roller coaster happens and it starts rolling.
it happens.
It
It
happens,
happens.
I listen. We got to move forward in life,
Teams
and
have
you got to.
issues
It
whether
just
or
got to be
not
that
you
way.
want
So
to face it
however
or
that
not.
Can I
situation goes is. But I think that as far as that's totally different than trolling.
Right.
can I
You're right.
can I
That's
just
totally
say one
different.
last thing to try to move us on a little bit?
Go ahead, D.
Look, I think that a lot of times you hear an opinion and it sounds so out of left field, it just makes you angry. You're like, yeah, what the hell? That can't be true. Like, no way. And you think about it for months and months and months, and after a while you realize maybe there's a grain of truth to it. Because it's so different from what your perspective is, and it's just like, no, that can't be true. And one thing that I don't like, and I think that makes people want to criticize something more, is you all have heard the concept of like a sacred cow, right? Like this person over here, you are not allowed to criticize no matter what they do, no matter what their faults are. Got to be honest, bro. If Jalen Brunson was Michael Jordan, we would be winning already. He's an amazing player, but you want your best player to continue to get better. And to do that, you have to be honest and admit, he could be better here, he could be better there, blah, blah, blah. Are there some things Trae Young does better than Jalen Brunson? Probably. Maybe. Does it mean Trae Young
Hell,
is better than Jalen Brunson? No. Maybe. I don't know.
hell no.
But, so there's
Definitely
nothing in
not.
the entire
Definitely not.
world.
Definitely not.
There's nothing in the entire world that Trae Young does better in basketball than Jalen Brunson. I'm sure he does something
No.
better. His
That's
assists.
I agree with that. I hear you. No, I hear you.
Does it mean he's better? No. But can you
No.
look at other people? I think that, for example, Jalen Brunson is obviously a better basketball player than Tyler Kolek. But could he learn a few things about passing the ball from Tyler Kolek? Yeah, bro. Probably. I ain't seen Jalen Brunson making all them crazy passes that Tyler Kolek be making. You know what I'm saying? Kolek is still not a fraction of the player that Jalen Brunson is. But can he learn something from him? Yeah. So for me, you always should want your best player to be getting better. Because he's the best player, it means he's already the best he's ever going to be. He hit a ceiling. That to me is ridiculous. I think he is our best player. But are there legitimate room for him to improve and for him to be critiqued? Like anybody, bro. Like anybody.
Anybody.
Definitely. Yeah, and
Anybody can
and
do
That's very well said. And right now, to me, our best player playing both is OG. Right now, like Brunson and Cat are the 1A and 1B, but OG has been playing the most consistent basketball on both sides of the court
that's true. That's true. That's fair.
at this
Like, yeah,
particular junction.
yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree with that. So, the problem, we're gonna reel this back in. So he said, team has issues whether or not you want to face it or not is on you. That's fair, and he's not wrong. The team does have issues, but the team has issues. Jalen Brunson is not the team; he's a part of the team. So
Exactly.
Cat has issues.
Yeah.
Macau has issues. Oh,
it. You ain't really
everybody's
got a
got
solid
issues.
bench.
Everybody's
There's a
got
couple of
issues. But
issues.
anyway,
So you could say
the other
that one
thing,
again, Shaw. That's a
Right.
big
We
one.
haven't solidified our big man on the bench. We
Yup.
don't have a real dominant small forward on the bench.
Yeah,
We have some good feelings. We have some good feelings for the money that we're paying him. I love Landry Shamet for $2 million. The way he's playing basketball right now, I love him. I love Deuce McBride on the court for $4 million. The way he's giving up with defense and the way he shoots a 3-point shot, I love him. You know what I mean? Precious when he gets out there and he gets a lot of minutes for $6 million. It's not a better $6 million guy. Well, I don't know if it's not a better. I'm just throwing it out there like
Yeah,
that. I'm just throwing it out there like that. I'm not saying it's not a better, but in essence, that's what I mean. You know what I mean? For the money that we pay for these guys, knowing that we got a very heavy front unit, our starting five is the blunt of the money that we're getting right now. So we have to wait. This is a year that we have to see how far we can get and what we can do in the off season to make it better. You know what I mean? And every year, everybody's going to get better. Just like last year. Last year, Deuce wasn't as good as he was this year. He looks better going to the basket, shooting more open shots, getting freer. He feels more entwined into the offense and the defense. You know what I mean? And things will happen better for him next year. Just like Tyler Kohler could come in next year and look a little better. Hopefully, Hucker Purdy could come in here and do a little better next year. Hopefully, we could go into next year fully stocked. You know what I mean, with a Pressure to Chew or not, but we probably won't have Pressure to Chew. I don't think we will have Pressure. But with
nah, I
a
don't think
Mitchell
so
Robinson, I
either.
think they're gonna come. I think they're gonna come in the start of the year with a Mitchell Robinson cat lineup. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm hopeful for the team because only thing it is a win or a loss. You know what I mean? The Knicks get 4 wins and they go on to the next round. And you play hard, and if you remember when the Knicks win and they play their A game, and they're doing some of the things that like we talk about every time that they win, the same things they do when they win. They shoot over 30. I mean, they get the over 30 assists. They shoot over 36% from 3-point land. They pretty
85
much
from
about
the
80.
free throw.
You know what I mean? They pretty all
Yeah,
these things are the same thing when they win. So if we could get a couple of those games in a 7-game series where we ain't got to go to LA and then go to Minnesota, then to go to Mile High, then go to
right.
Denver, then come back to Miami. We only going one spot up the East Coast. Let's get it. I'm ready for all the smoke, man. I think the Knicks are ready for all these teams, man. And let Detroit be the first one.
And to add to that really quick, this team was put together at the last second and
Fact.
just came together. Cat got picked up like a day and a half before the year started. You
80,
know what
84
I mean?
games this team
Now
has
that's
played.
you know what I'm saying,
84, and they haven't
right?
even played all 84 games.
Yo, I wanted to
Right,
say one
right.
thing.
They didn't start with Precious. They didn't start with half these
Yeah.
people. Go ahead, Ron.
First 20 games and 23 games. You know what I mean? They started at the beginning of the season,
Right.
could be a different way. It could be, I mean, in my opinion. You know what I mean? In my opinion. If Mitch started this year, Shaman started this year, those are the only two. I'm not so much, with Precious starting with him being out because we had Harker Purdy then. You know what I mean? We had
Yeah.
Jericho Sims then. You know what I mean? With Mitch coming back this year, we would still have Jericho Sims right now. Bet that. Bet that.
Shot. You don't think they need an upgrade from Deuce McBride?
I
I
think
think he needs to upgrade himself, bro.
he could be something talked about in the off season.
Yeah.
Anybody can get it, man. Anybody can get it.
Anybody.
We already gave up Julius Randle and DiVincenzo.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can get it, man.
Yeah.
Anybody can get moved.
Barrett and
So I'm not.
quickly. We didn't think
I'm
we were
not.
going to come off quickly.
Come on.
Anytime.
Anybody can get moved, man. RJ done been moved. Grimes have been moved. Obi done been moved. All the guys that
Yep.
we all cherished and really liked on this team and stuff, they gone.
Yep.
DiVincenzo gone 1 year. He was only here 1 year. 1 year DiVincenzo was here. Next year he out with Julius Randle. Bye bye. See you. Go on. Bye. Side. No problem. We signed him to that contract that he's getting paid for right now. Come on, man. Anybody can get moved.
Saying, I
So
hope Leon
Well,
Ball
the
look,
promo.
off
Shot know the
what
numbers and the history of it.
the big factor, what I do is I figure what's going to happen for this year. And every time I get on and try to talk about the Knicks, I try to make sure that I could talk about what I've seen that they can do. And if they do it, they could prosper. Now, how far they're going to go and do in the playoffs and all that stuff is all up to the New York Knicks. I can only be optimistic. Hope. Damn, what you say, Rex, again? What's the hope or not?
Opium.
Hopium.
Hopium. I just got to hit myself with that hope.
That
I can hit myself with that
you'll be
hopium every so
nodding.
often.
You'll be
I
nodding.
can hit myself with that hopium every so often before I come on because with this team I've seen this team has been 80 games they played this year. That's it. That's it. They've been 2-3 years in the league. I mean, playing together and stuff. This is their first 80 games that they played, and they haven't been all the way healthy. And we held on to the third position for how many months? How many months does this team hold on to the third position with the
The
ups and
entire
downs, the hills
time.
and valleys? Yeah, well, how long? How long have you been watching Tom Thibodeau look down the bench and be like, dang man, who am I put in? So
When-
let's see what happens after this year, after we finish out this season. Because if we do get knocked off in the playoffs, at least it won't be so long until the summer break, and it won't be too long
Yo,
to
let me
the
just say something,
signing
bro. If
and
we
all
get
this
if we
other
get out of
stuff.
here in the first round, the Knicks fan base gonna end up looking like Tibbs, bro. Grizzled, one hair left, fucking gray.
There'll be
If
some
if
problems if
if
we get
Tibbs
knocked
if,
out in the
Ti- if
first.
Tibbs get knocked out first round, Tibbs is not going to be here next year.
Do
yeah,
That's
y'all
in
see?
my
I know.
opinion. You know
Do
what I
y'all see
mean?
a
I
way the
agree.
Pistons beat
I
the Knicks?
agree with that. I
There's
agree with
always a
that,
way,
man.
bro. You don't just get entitled to a playoff series, bro. You still gotta go out there and win
People
it.
act like it's impossible.
Yeah. So that's how I feel. If Tibbs, yeah, of course. I think the whole fan base. I think Leon. If we get knocked out the first round after the last two times that they went to the second round. I think that's a problem.
They
You
should
know what I
win
mean?
just off talent.
Right. So I think we get to the second round. And let me say this too. And I mean, everyone's preaching about Boston and Boston and Boston. I think it's going to be an upset. I don't know if it's going to be the Mavericks against the Cavs, or if it's
Talk
going to be
about it.
Orlando. If it's going to be Orlando against Boston. And I mean, one of those teams might sway one of these things to make it a different team. So let's be hopeful. I'm just out here for whatever the smoke is. I think the Knicks is a very good team, man. They play very good basketball 50 games this year. You know what I mean? If I was a betting man, I'd be up right now 18 games, 20 games, something like that. It was what, 18 and 20? I mean, 50 and 30? Yeah, I'd be up 20. I'd be up 20 games right now. I'd be up 20 spots, 20 winning spots right now if I bet every game for the New York. I mean, I do. but, but but I'm up 20. I'll be up 20 games right now while messing around with the New York Knicks. That's good for me.
All right, let me get to a couple things. I got some super chats here because y'all been caught up in great conversation, so I didn't want to stop y'all. But so first, you guys already know I had put it up there. Um, Khaled had said Brunson hasn't won anything. If you want to say that college championships aren't really that big of a deal, I would disagree with you. It is not easy to win a college tournament, especially when you have to go in a tournament of 64 teams, whether you're a first seed, a top seed, or not. Anybody, Cinderella's knock off teams all the time. It is not easy to win one championship, let alone two in a college career. Okay, so I don't think you should take that for granted. And it's not easy. But if you want to say just because it's college, he hasn't won anything in the NBA, that's fair, and I can agree with you on that. But you know what? Donovan Mitchell and Garland, they haven't
Facts.
won
First
anything
one came in
either.
my mind.
Shea Gilgris Alexander hasn't won
Facts.
anything either. You know what I mean? The only team that we could say right now that's in this mix currently that we're
Boston.
thinking could win is Boston. So all these other teams, nobody's won anything. So let's leave it at that. The other thing about Brunson is who we don't know if Brunson is the answer or if he is like if there's enough around him to win. But I'll tell you something that I said last year, and I said it all last year. All those teams that were close to winning a championship that had a roster together but was missing something, if you guys remember, I said it. I said if they had Jalen Brunson, they'd win. Because to me, he's the missing piece for a lot of teams that need that extra person to be a closer, to get a big shot, to give them that added scoring, to give them that extra heart you need to win these games. He's that guy. Now the Knicks, look, we already talked about the Knicks have great talent. They should be in position to win the championship. Eventually, maybe not this year, but eventually.
Ron,
So
I'll be
we'll
right
see
back,
what
Ron.
happens. Um, I don't know what Stack said. I couldn't really hear him. But we'll see what happens. But we hope that they have enough. But we'll have to find out. And if it doesn't happen because maybe there's something they got to tweak, because if the Knicks get knocked out in the first round, it ain't solely going to be because of no Jalen Brunson. It's going to be because other things are happening with this team, coaching. Maybe we need to switch some players around. You know what I mean? But Jalen Brunson, all I'm trying to say is Jalen Brunson hasn't done anything to say he can't be part of the answer, right? This is his 7th year in the league. Excuse me, guys. 7th year in the league, 3rd year as a bona fide starter. You can't say, oh, he's not the answer. He hasn't had enough time to even prove that he is the answer. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, let me get to these super chats. And once again, I'm not saying that people are wrong. You're not entitled to your opinion. I'm just telling you that there's still more time to evaluate the
The
situation
jury's out.
before you can say for sure. All right. Pew, 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 pew. Shout out to my guy, Big Lou. You know what it is. Thank you for the generous super chat, my guy. He said, Ron, my granddaughter Lanaya is a Knick fan and noticed that we got better players this year, but is going to have the same winning record from last year. And that shows that the coach is the issue. There's no change. That's interesting.
Hey, yo, Lanai want to coach the Knicks?
It's tough because we know we dealt with some injuries. The other thing is we lost Jalen Brunson for about 3 weeks. And if we had Jalen Brunson, there was a couple games we lost 3 weeks ago that we easily would have won if Brunson was there. So that's why I don't really think we're a 50-win team. We more like a 52 to 55 win team, easy, in my opinion. But I hear what you're saying. But the only reason why I say it's I don't necessarily agree that it's the same thing, but I will say that Tibbs has made some mistakes or not made some calls this year that I'm surprised that he did. I would have think that he would have been a little bit better in his decision making this year, especially after what we witnessed last year. I think Tibbs took some steps in the right direction last year, and I feel like he's gone backwards a little bit this year,
You know what
which
we're
that
really gonna see,
disturbs.
bro, is Brooklyn, bro. If we don't get a Pacome Dadier 40-minute masterclass, then we're really gonna see if they're tanking or not.
That's a good point because we do know 2 years ago or 3 years ago? 2 or 3 years ago, remember they sat Julius Randle. He was hurt for the last 3 games of the season, and they gave Obi and quickly 40 minutes each. I think Obi put up a 40 spot in one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, these guys definitely should play. Let me get to these other super chats and we'll get right back to it. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Thank you for the generous super chat. He said Josh won't shoot. That cost him his dog status. He's a pup right now, Paris. I get it. Okay. He said last point, which wasn't his last point, but he said last point for now. Uh, thank you for the generous super chat. He said last point, JB is 70%, otherwise we win both games. I also do feel like if you want to comment on how Jalen Brunson's played in the past of this year, fine. But to talk about him now when it's his 3rd game back from missing almost 3 weeks, or actually missing 3 weeks, it's still a little tough. Like last night was the first game I felt like he got his rhythm and that shot was looking pure. So, you know what I mean? Like the next game that he plays, whatever that may be, I expect well, if it's regular season, I don't expect him to do much because they're going to be taking it easy. But the next game, he should be ready in the playoffs. He should be okay going forward. Then Paris said, "Thank you once again for the generous super chat." He said, "Melo came to New York and Amari became garbage, and people blamed Melo. Same with JB. He came back and OG lost his shot and failed to dunk the ball last night. BS." Um, uh, uh, I, look, the Mello and Amari thing. Amari was the guy who came to the Knicks when we really had nobody else. He
Yep.
was the main
Facts.
focal point for our offense. Everything ran through Amari, and he
Yep.
got busy. He had tons of touches. He was the main scorer, and he looked like an MVP in those 9 or 10 games that he played without Melo. When Melo got here, and you have another big option who also commands the ball and can do so much with it. It took time away from and touches away from Amari. Amari wasn't as consistent as he was prior because he's not that focal point getting all the touches and being able to do what he wants. His rhythm had changed a little bit. And so he just didn't look as, the way he looked before. It's one of those things that happens. Now with the Knicks, this is different, guys. The reason why I say different, because when Amari came to the Knicks, he was proven already. He was getting busy in Phoenix. When
Ooh.
Melo came to the Knicks, he was proven already. He was getting busy in Denver. OG what we're seeing from OG right now is unproven. Like, this is the first year of OG coming into his own, becoming an offensive player. He didn't get a lot of these opportunities in Toronto because the talent was different and they ran the offense different. This is his first time really getting into the OG bag. And it's not in solidified yet because you got to be able to do it on a night in and night out basis for more than just a year before we know that this is who you are. I'm not saying this is not who he is. I'm just saying this is the first year of it. So the flip side is when Jalen Brunson is back, when Cat is out there, which they should be our main offensive scorers initially, excuse me, you have to figure out how to continue to get guys like Mikal and OG involved. But the flip side is this is the part that we're missing. The defense has already woken up. They see what Mikal can do, and now they're starting to understand what OG likes to do. We've already talked about this. OG is a very directional type of player. He's going right through you, right to the spot he wants to go. If the defense knows it's coming and they know how to play defense, they can stop it. Right? He's been eating against some poor defensive teams too. But when you play against a good defensive team, they're gonna stop you or get the ball out of your
Or
hands, make you
change it, yes.
uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm trying to say before. When people were asking, can OG be your second scoring option or your third scoring option? It's not that he can't. I used to say, I think it's easier for Mikal because Mikal has already gone up against all the top defenses, all the players, and he's still able to move around and get to his spots. Is he as aggressive as he needs to be? No, he's not. But he can do that. OG is learning how to do that, but he hasn't done it against the top defensive players and the schemes that they're trying to. They're just learning how to scheme for him. So that's going to be a learning curve. He's going to have to figure it out. But that's going to be a little bit of a problem. That's all I wanted to say and put that out there. That it's not as easy as it sounds. What we saw from OG in the playoffs is going to be tough. To avoid OG getting stagnant and the defense stopping him, the Knicks are going to have to move the ball. When OG gets the double team coming, or if he tries to drive to the lane and he gets cut off, he's got to stop and move the ball to somewhere else. Don't kill the possession and enforce the issue. Move the ball, get another look, right? And that's how you keep it going. That's how the defense can't settle. Because if OG just continues to put his head down and go straight to the basket, no matter what the defense is, we're going to lose on possessions, we're going to lose on opportunities, and the defense is going to win.
He has played better in that style of basketball too, especially recently when with all these scoring skirts that he had. His assists has ticked up a little bit. Very efficient with the passing, just like you said. When he gets ready to go down there and he gets cut off, he kicks it out. I also think that teams now seeing him doing all this stuff can really team defense against him, just like Mikal. You see different ways of how the teams try to play our guys now, especially in the last two games, how they try to play our guys a little different, especially OG. They put a big guy on him to lean him towards the middle where he has a little bit of problems because you have another defender on the side instead of letting him clear out on one side. So there's a couple of things that teams are going to see down the stretch, you know what I mean? And I think this is another reason why we haven't seen the Mitch Cat thing so much. I think they have worked this thing out, man. I don't know why I think they worked it out, but I hope that they do because we need some interior defense down when Cat's on the thing. And Cat has played a little bit better defense, but this is one of the problems with the defense when Cat's on the thing. And I noticed this when Mikal is coming around the screen, he pushes his man in the direction towards the center of towards the middle of the court. Mitch steps up to that man and makes the man either pass it left or pass it right. When it's Cat and Mikal is coming off the thing, Cat stays back in the drop coverage, and the guy continues to go around the around the pick with nobody until he gets closer to Cat, and Cat comes up, he's already in the air. And Cat's vertical is not that great. He's big. His vertical may I don't think his Cat is no 4 foot vertical, 3 foot, however these verticals go, but you know his
He got
size
heavy
makes
feet.
right. His size make him a better defender than his vertical leaping like a Mitchell Robinson or something like that. So that's where we get beat a lot of the times. You know what I mean? And I noticed that a lot this year. Cat drops back and waits for you to come to him so he can jump like this. Mitch steps up to you and jumps straight up. You know what I mean? When it's the and that's how Mikel that's all year Mikel has been doing this same style of defense when he pushes the man around the pick hard and stays on his back just in case if he wants to switch it to his dominant hand, which is the right hand, so he can steal the ball. So when he pushes you around, the guy pushes it to the right, pushes over to the left. When Cat's there, they get that extra dribble to get it back to their dominant hand and go up. You know what I mean? I noticed that a lot this year. So with Mitch on the court, it makes a difference. I'm just running with Mitch because our interior defense is not like it was last year. And a lot of people talk about the team last year, and that was more so what we did better. We had arterial defense with our heart down there. This year with Cat, we score better. If you believe it or not, our starting unit this year scores almost 100 points. 100 points a game. Last year, I think our starting was 86, 84, 86. You know what I mean? So that's a big difference. You know what I mean? Big change in how we play basketball and stuff. Last year we had a bench. This year we have a bench. Last year we had a more. I don't want to say the guys are more competent last year because a lot of the guys that came from the bench end up starting. But you know what I mean?
Out of necessity, though. Only out of necessity.
Yeah,
When they
yeah,
were
yeah,
the bench,
yeah, yeah,
because of the injuries. If it wasn't for that, the
yeah.
bench, uh,
I,
the confidence
some of the injuries.
is a good word. They were more consistent. They were more,
Right,
that's, I think,
right.
persistent. They were, you knew what you were getting out of Debo. You knew what you were getting out of Hart. And then they had to shift into um, the starting unit due to that. Same as iHeart, it was all this
Fact,
relative,
interior defense. Hmm.
right, to what happened. So,
And
and then what you said, the
one.
millions and
Oh,
the money, like, we're handcuffed by the money, and so we're
it's the
getting the
fact
best out of
what we can
what
afford.
what we can afford, right? And
Right.
so, I agree with I do agree with that.
What one other big thing that we don't have on the starting unit, which would be Josh Hart position, is someone that puts up 8 to 12 3 pointers a night like a DiVincenzo did. You know what I mean? A lot of teams, other teams have that style of player. The Whites, the Spiders, or the oh my God, the other guy we played last night with the Dreads, I can't think of you know who I'm talking about on Cleveland
Stewart,
last night. These guys that go out and shoot the basketball, you know what I mean, and are 6'5" to 6'7". You know what I mean? Devo last year shot about 8 to 12 3 pointers a night. And I mean, he was chucking them up there. That's why his percentages stay so high. If you shoot 10 3 pointers and you shoot and you hit 4, that's 40%. You know what I mean? So with that being said, we don't have a guy. Josh Hart don't put up that many 3-point shots, and our 3-point guys that can shoot them don't put up enough. I mean, I don't want to say put up enough shots, but we're only shooting about 33 pointers a night when other teams are shooting close to 53 pointers a night. And I mean, we're very low in the 3-point shot. Another reason why I think that we should chuck a little bit more up, but where we miss out is Josh Hart. Not saying Josh Hart is the reason why, but Josh Hart is not. He doesn't want to shoot the shot sometimes. And I mean, we need him to shoot 5, 6, 7 shots sometimes a night. And I mean, because we need to get to 43 pointers a night, in my opinion. Not 26, 28 with a good percentage, but not 26, shooting 43%, and we shot 11 of 19, 11 to 21 or something like that. 21 or 22. That may probably make it about 47%.
I think what just gets me the most is the inconsistencies of, especially the bench. It's like we'll have 2, 3 good games out of Shamet, let's say, like really great games. Then he'll come in for a bench player and for the money, how it all comes together. Then he'll come in for 22 minutes to get 2 points and a rebound. And I think that's kind of been the consistent thing that's been happening. And then trying to find the right people, like if Delon's going to the playoffs, why wasn't he part of that rotation? Especially when they sat down a lot of their players with Cleveland and all that stuff. You got to move a lot of these people, especially if they're going to play. You might not, look, in the playoffs last year, Alec Burks sitting on that bench. And I bet in his mind, he's going, damn, bro, when are you going to put me in? All these people are hurt. They'll put me in. Come on. And he put him in and showed him some stuff, and then he stopped. I mean, I think it's never one thing, right? More than one thing could be the truth at the same time, and also that more than one thing could be the problem at the same time. So like there is some like real deficiencies in our bench unit, and there's deficiencies in our defensive plays. But again, you add that to the fact that we didn't have a full team to start the year. We didn't have a center. We didn't have a backup power forward, no one tall, and Sims never developed. You start that from the whole beginning of the year, the whole early part of the year. And yet, somehow, some way, we stayed in third the entire year. So, I think through it all we got to see is like, and then emotionally, we came off of last year on an emotional high that felt like we got dropped from the top of the building in that game. And that I don't want to talk about that game 7. And if we just had 2 more people that weren't injured and all that, and we wish this year I thought we were going to get 58 wins. I wrote it down, 58 wins, because of last year. I was coming off of with that energy, and the team switched up and they had to learn each other. And that's not an overnight thing. A lot of teams were playing and been together for 5-6 years more. So, to be realistic, I want to see who. If you're a Knicks fan, you want to see what? Win a championship.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the final. That's what we. That's what they play a game for. Are we on the way there this year? But I think right now our focus should be what's going to happen first round. Let's get to this team one game at a time. Who are we going to use? What the schemes are going to be, and stay consistently doing such things. And that's that. I mean, I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, because I still feel like it's early for me in my head, but
I feel like this too, about both teams, the team from last year and the team of this year. Last year's team had no expectation. There was no expectation for last year's team. And this year's team has so much expectation. We supposed to be beating these teams that are up there with us. We right there. We supposed to do this. Why are we losing to these bum teams and all this other stuff? And throughout the year, we have had some bad losses. We have had some statement losses. We have got beat down a couple of times, but we also have had some statement wins. Denver. We also had some good wins. We also had some gritty, grinded out wins. Know what I mean? And with all of that being said, with 81 games played in a season. First year, 81 games in a season with not knowing that we didn't have Mitchell. Because I'm just gonna say this, and this is just me, my opinion. Mitchell Robinson started this year. Josh Hart gets 6 man of the year this year. And I mean, Josh Hart gets 6 man of the year. Now we're talking about Josh Hart with Jericho Sims, Deuce McBride, and Precious Achua. You know what I mean? And that's how we'd have rocked in that second unit. You know what I mean? And I think it would have just put a different outlook on what we would have now. You know what I mean? But like we all say, if was a fifth, if was a spliff, you know, if my
Yep.
aunt was my uncle,
If
or however
mom
you
had the ding-a-ling.
say how it goes, you know what I mean? So it's a whole lot of things that, could have changed the things out. And I'm riding with this team to the end because I want to see where it finishes at and where we can get better at, because there's a couple of things that I still to this day talk about, that starting with pressure, with that second unit, where we didn't have a small forward all year. I talked about the second unit scoring flawlessly for one whole month, you know what I mean? Because we didn't have that second unit, you know what I mean? And they coming around now. They're starting to land. Shamet is a beast. And last night, I think he did the same. Tom Tibido did this twice. Maybe it's just me paying attention too much. The guy was yelling at Landry Shamet a game ago. Landry Shamet hit a 3-pointer, came down, hit another 3-pointer, then hit a layup. Tom Tibido, whoop, sit down. You showed him too much. Sit down. Sit it down, Landry. Sit it down. Last night he started getting hot on fire. He took him out. Now I mean, he hit two or three 3-pointers again. Started doing some things, clapping hands like woo. He walking to the bench like woo, like he hot. What happened? He sent him down. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm not giving him that pass. Shatet's been doing that for years. He's been taking out the hot hand whenever they get hot
I,
for seasons, for entire
especially
seasons.
Landry Sham. If you right. He does he has that type of things that he's done. I seen him do it
Look,
to
Shot,
IQ
he
a couple
just
of
look.
times.
His problem. That's what scares me about the playoffs, bro. Is he not gonna play his favorites? Is he gonna go production over his favorites?
It's always to me. It's always a circle of trust with Tom Thibodeau to me. So if you want to say his favorites, he has the favorites right now. All the ones that's in the nucleus and the ones that's right on the outer rim. It's 9 man. It's a 9 man rotation, almost 10 if you want to include Precious. He has a 10 man rotation that he could bring into the playoffs. A solid 10 man rotation. Now
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
I
but
believe yesterday they was trying to win that game. So like I don't
this
understand why Josh Hart was in the closing lineup.
that's something that a lot of people out here say the same thing, like he's lacking towards the end of the plays, or he's not stepping out on 3-point shots like he used to. That could be that leg this year, you know what I mean? But
So I
sometimes he
know you can
is.
see that, Tibbs. Like so, like why are you like? What is the problem that you just can't take Josh Hart off the floor, bro?
Yeah. That is something to be mentioned. That is definitely something I got to talk about
Like
in the
Josh
off
Hart is
season.
hurting the team. Like he's hurt the team a lot of games this year, and he refused to take him off the floor.
Well,
Yeah,
you know what? You bring up a good question.
That's what worries
So,
me. That's what worries me.
here's the thing that I did want to talk about because it's fair and it's something we do got to worry about going forward and in the playoffs. And this is for, I guess, see, like I said, equal opportunity. We try to be fair, but I ain't going to go crazy just because you think I need to go crazy. That's on you. Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. Now, this is just, remember, guys, this is their day job. This has nothing to do with no podcast. All that stuff is nonsense. You can talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about, wherever you want to. It's not going to change the type of basketball player you are on the court. You just got to do your job. All right. You're going to be good. You're going to be good. No one's saying, man, because these guys got a podcast. Man, Jalen dropped 40 the other day. Must be because of the podcast. Nobody's saying that, right? So I'm not going to say because he played bad, it's because of the podcast. Bottom line here is there's been some moments. Now, I know Jalen just got back. I did see it. There's some stuff that I've seen, but I don't like to look at these 3 games as my window into what Jalen Brunson is doing. I like to look at stuff I've seen him do when he's normally out there in his rhythm. And I've seen him make these mistakes there too. One of the things that Jalen Brunson needs to clean up is we do know that he's got a good handle. He can get wherever he needs to get, even when the double team is trying to press him or trying to get the ball out of his hands. Sometimes he fights through it because it's easier for him to try to fight through it and get and keep the ball rather than just give it up and give the defense what they want. But I feel like in the playoffs, especially, sometimes he's going to have to give the ball up. If the double team comes, unless it's a last second shot opportunity or something like that, he's got to give the ball up and just get it right back. Because him trying to force the issue and split the defense, and that's turnover waiting to happen. Even if you have a good handle, it happens. And he's run into that problem. The other thing that has upset me sometimes is sometimes he tries to make these passes, leading passes, and the defense knows, like they know how the Knicks offense runs. So they know if I do this, he's gonna pass. Or if we do this, they're gonna pass to Jalen. So when you're doing this type of stuff and they're anticipating, just don't pass it to the obvious person or don't try to lead a pass that is not going to go through anyway. Jalen has been a victim of doing that. Sometimes he will force the issue late down the stretch when he thinks he has the shot. The defense collapses quickly, and now he's going to throw the ball away or get it to someone, and no one's there. I I don't like that, and it's something that he has to work on better. But the same thing goes for Josh Hart because Josh does it. Josh has a bad problem of thinking he's a quarterback out there, trying to throw these Joe Montana passes or Eli Manning passes or whoever's your favorite quarterback throws these passes that shouldn't be thrown. Half court passes, 3/4 court passes, across the court passes. Like there's a reason why these are no-nos that they try to get people to not do. And Josh does it a lot. The other thing Josh does sometimes, he's calmed down a little bit. He still does it here and there. Jump passes. Gets up in the air, he's stuck,
Yeah.
he's got to throw it. So you gotta cut that out.
Ron,
Especially
can I say something wrong before I forget?
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Stacks.
Yeah,
Even
I
before
was
you go,
going to say,
Stats, let me just Stats, give me 1 second because I'm about to
all right.
peace out, man. Stats, thank you so much. Ron, thank you so much. Jay Chosen, thank you so much. Thank you for letting me come on, Ron. Salute to the chat. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
All right,
Appreciate you.
Shaw.
I'm about to get out of here soon
Yes,
too, man.
thank you.
I gotta rest, but appreciate you. All
Peace.
Yeah,
right,
I
go ahead,
wanted to
Stacks.
say those issues you just named, but those are the issues that happens when you have a read and react offense. You're putting too much in Jacob Brunson's and Josh Hart's hand. Jacob Brunson
True,
is not Chris Paul.
true.
That's a read and react offense is for somebody like Chris Paul, James Harden, LeBron James, and one of them guys.
That's
That's why I said
fair.
he needs to help these guys out some because you're putting too much in their hands. Josh Hart is not a he's a good read and react player, but we see the mistakes he makes at times. So you got to call some plays.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you. That would definitely get them out of this situation where they're forced to make these decisions that sometimes can backfire depending on what the defense is doing, especially when we're going up against these good defenses that don't allow for a lot of that to happen. So that's
Yeah, like
fair.
the good teams are not allowing that. The good team, that's why we having these problem with the good team because they are not allowing that. We could get away with that against these mediocre to lesser teams. We can't get away with that against these top teams. These good defensive teams, good to great defensive teams.
Yeah, and the predicate, he says, Ron, that's why I suggest a secondary point guard like Tylenol should be on the floor if he's doubled. And I agree that is
That
something that
defense is gonna be
these
nasty.
coaches
Like
are doing. However, you're not going to see it this year. Maybe
No.
next year as he
that's
gets
why
brought
DeLon Wright
along.
should be out there. Actually,
Maybe DeLon Wright. Maybe. I think maybe he's a little bit more solid. He doesn't give you what Tyler Kolek's ability to pass the ball is, but he's a little bit more
yeah,
solid. He's been out there. He's been pressured. He's a good defender too, so he can kind
Brunson
of
can
help
get off the
out.
ball.
Yeah. So and he's got good height, so that
Right, you
always
can't have
plays into
Kolek
it.
and Brunson out there same time, the same height, very lack of defense on same everything. You can't have them together. And actually,
At least
Stacks and I
not
were
now.
talking about that.
With a full off season, excuse me,
Yeah,
of practice and understanding how it can work and what guys have to do, maybe you could do it next year. Right now, going into the playoffs, Tibbs will never do it, and it's risky for any coach to do that. Like now,
This
I
whole issue
I was
goes back
just
to
telling that
Deuce.
to
This all goes
Stacks
back
the
to
other
Deuce. He's
day.
too
That this
small,
guy's
man.
a
It's because
combo
of
guard.
Deuce, man.
You know that
Wait,
that I really truly believe that Brunson's a combo guard of like a big time, more leaning to a two guard than a one. He's a shooter. He can get to the rim. He's had to become more of a playmaker this year, which I think takes away from I think what you've been seeing in some of the games that you maybe not feeling a little bit from Brunson is him trying to adjust himself to become this guy who, instead of scoring that easy 30 that he could drop, that easy 20, whatever that he could drop, him getting more like 20 and 10. And that's become a very important thing because Cat's here and that. If you had somebody that was actually a floor general distributor and he was able to move around and get his shot, you know, if you watch all these other teams, they rock with two combo guards.
We do.
Maybe not like OKC, but maybe even OKC, but like Cleveland does it.
Oh my.
They come up together. Boston does it. There's two guards that are able to dribble. They do that so it can switch on and off.
Yeah, I know we
And
drafted that. We drafted. I'm so sorry to cut you off, Jay. We drafted that guy, right? We traded him to OKC and AJ Mitchell, 6'5" point guard, shooter guard. He cooked us one game this season too. I don't know if y'all remember. That's the last game he played of the season too. He got injured, but we drafted him at 38 and we traded him to OKC. Why I don't know, but it's things like that that Leon does that's it's adding. I'm starting to add up, man. We passed on Isaiah Collier at 29. At pick
that we just
29,
talked
6'4",
about.
6'5" point guard that could be the perfect point guard to play with Brunson in the future, or he could play this season. So like it's little things like that that's starting to add up. That's hurting his team.
I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, but it's tough with the Knicks when it comes to point guards. I mean, look how long it took us to get a Jalen Brunson. So I don't know, something about this organization when it comes to point guards. They get like some agina or something. They're allergic to point guards around here. True
Mm-hmm.
point guards at that.
Like they got a bad. I don't know. They got to get somebody else in that room with them, man.
That's right,
They got to
Joseph.
get
He
Kenny
just came
Payne
back
back or
too. I
something.
saw that. AJ
Right.
Mitchell just came back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that happens. And it does point to the point that the person that Tibbs believes in that role is another person who's not a true point guard in Deuce McBride. I remember Stacks. Stacks we were talking about Case and Wallace and stuff. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I hear you, man. But unfortunately, this is the way it's built. And then you get somebody in a campaign who I thought campaign was going to be that answer, but he's very erratic. He's very erratic, and unfortunately, he's just not necessarily the perfect piece, which is why I don't think he's going to be here next year. It is what it
Nope.
is.
It is what it is, man. They got to do better, and they got to have a better eye than they have. Though, man. They got to be able to see the future. Like, come on, bro. Like, campaign. Just take your shot with an AJ Mitchell. Like, just take your shot with the kid like that, man.
Yep.
Uh, Look
From
at that.
drafting to trading to the moves they made to the money they spend to the picks they get rid of, they got to figure
Mm-hmm.
that part out.
Let me tell you something. What JJ said, if that happens, that's definitely going to make the series more interesting. Because Jalen
I didn't read anything about that, but that would be really, really, really
Jaden Ivey.
Once again, I'm only saying it because I'm not. Once again,
right.
not scared of Detroit. I don't care if they got Jalen Ivey. The Knicks are still a better team than them, but that just makes them a little bit more interesting when you try to get the ball out of what the hell is his name now?
Cade.
Cade Cunningham's hands. Ivy does give you a better, a secondary option.
He's the type of guy to
Now,
cook Mikal Bridges too, right?
yeah. Plus, the only thing, because the thing about Ivy is he got a lot of speed. So think of it as a unpolished, um, the dude from Philadelphia,
Maxi.
Max.
Maxi.
Think about it as an unpolished Maxi. Maxi knows how to use his speed and take advantage of it. Ivy's still learning how to use his speed, but he's got the speed. He'll get by you. So
Yeah.
Well,
that's just
he's coming back from a broken injury anyway. He's still gonna
yeah.
have to learn
So
how to
he
use
may not
all
be
that.
exactly as effective as he would like to be anyway. But it's just something to think about because he was averaging 18 points a game when he went down.
Only thing that scares me in this playoff is Tibbs. I'm not scared of nothing else with Tibbs. That's the only thing that scares me. Is
That's
he gonna
fair.
play the right lineups? That's the stuff that scares me. Is he gonna go production over favorites? Those things. That's all I'm worried about. Because they have the talent. I'm not worried. They should beat Detroit just off of talent, but coaching comes into play at some point, I guess.
No, I agree with you, and I really do hope. I just hope that the Knicks just go out there and take care of business. I hope that they whatever has happened in the last week or so, they just put behind them and act like everything's brand new. Like the season is just starting again. Go out there and just do what they need to do. Because I do think I'm going to say this one last time, okay? Or maybe I won't say it. Maybe I'll say it more than one time. I do feel like after everything that's been said and done, if the healthy Knick team with the talent they got should make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I still feel that way. Whether or not they can win, that's different. But I
To
still
beat
feel they can
Boston?
make it. What'd you say?
To beat Boston?
Yeah, I do
Oh
think they can.
shit.
I think they
Oh
can beat
man.
Boston. I do.
I think
I
they
do.
can too, but not with this coach. Like I'm out on this coach
I
with them being Boston. I hear you though. I hear you though.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to come off, but I want two things to be true. Do I think the Knicks can beat Boston? Yeah, I think if the Knicks go out there, execute their game plan, they get a little hot as far as shots go, and they can run their defense the way we think they can run their defense, I think they could beat Boston. Does that mean that I think they're a better team than Boston? No, because Boston has done this day in and day out against all teams. I just think they're comfortable. They are a better team than the Knicks, but the Knicks can beat them. And
Mm.
then maybe next year, if they do beat them, then we can start looking at the Knicks like, okay, yeah, now look, the Knicks doing it game in, game out, no matter who they're playing. Now I know that they're better. But I can't say that yet. Any
We
team could
can't go
beat
over last
anybody in the
game because
series.
last game we
Almighty
beat
finesse.
ourselves.
I see him in the comments. He talking about Durant and Mark Williams. Forget them. We missed out on Jalen Williams, J Dub. That's what we missed out on in that draft. Forget Durant and Mark Williams. We could have had J Dub.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a
To
shame.
Almighty finesse.
It's always going to be that case, though. Unfortunately, you're always going to lose out on players because of whatever your scouting is. But I just want to throw one more thing out there just to remind people. Sometimes the Knicks miss out on players because they have to, not because they want to. There's
I'm
no
not, nah,
reason.
Ron. I'm not giving them that pass, Ron. No, I'm not
Well,
giving them
no,
that pass.
you have
Who
to, bro, because
they missed out? Okay, name
the
the player.
Knicks
Name the
could have
player.
drafted
Name the player. Name the player that they missed out that they
Trying
had
to,
to.
brother. He
Dunn,
trying to, man.
Ryan Dunn.
No,
The
they
Knicks could have
didn't.
drafted. The Knicks could have drafted Dunn, but his price tag, they would have to pay him more at that selection, so they decided to not take him. It
I
seems
don't know,
stupid
but they
to us
could
to
have.
say,
But look, this is what they did. They signed Dadier to Ryan Dunn is making $2.5 million. Pacome Dadier is making 1.8. Kovic is making 2 million. So you could
dude.
have just signed
I
Dunn.
know this sounds crazy, Stacks, but the Knicks be penny pinching, bro, to the
I know,
dollar.
like, and
They be
it's not
penny
doing it.
pinching.
That's why I can't give them that pass because they could have drafted Dunn if they wanted to. They did not have to pass on him.
But think about it like this: in your mind, you say to yourself, "Ryan Dunn is a special defender." And I even, when we were doing the drafting, the scouting show and stuff, we talk about Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn is supposed to be a special defensive player, like a game.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know if he's been that good. He's been good, but they were hyping him up to be like the messiah of defense, like
Yeah,
But
I seen him in
he
college.
and he may turn into that eventually, but if you think about it
Maybe.
like this, you're wheeling and dealing. You got to work within a budget. You got Ryan Dunn sitting in front of you, and it may be an extra, you know, $600,000. But you say to
Hmm.
yourself, man, I can get Pacom Dadier, who might have a little interesting offensive bag, still plays defense. He's a little less than him, and then later there's this kid that I really like, but he was hurt, and so therefore teams are stepping away from him. But he averaged 18 points a game in college. and he plays really good defense. And his name is Kevin McCullough Jr. And I may be able to get him later. So
I hear you.
when you're wheeling and dealing, you might think I can't get Ryan Dunn, but overall I might make the team better down the line. So you can't say if these are misses yet, because everything we're seeing this year in the rookie year of these guys, next year Kevin McCullough Jr. could become a part of the offense. We don't know. You know, Pacom Dadier might get his shot next year, or we might flip Pacom for somebody else that can come in right away and help the team next year. So we can't say it's a bust yet until we find out what's the end goal. You know what I mean? But I hear you. I
I'm
like
just saying
Ryan
we
Dunn.
know what we don't have. I know what we don't have right now. Like that's what I'm saying. Like and like they could have because Dunn, I wanted Shannon, Dunn, and Collier. They went back to back to back, and they all for $2.5 million. But y'all chose to sign 2 or 3 players that you're not going to play anyway as rookies. And I feel like I could have just drafted one of them players or 2 of them players. Because they signed Huck Purdy too for what, 1 million? So that equals up to 5 million. I did the math
Right.
Five
already. I already did
million,
it.
5 million, something
So they
like
could have
that.
drafted. They could have
But
probably drafted 2 of these guys if they really wanted to. And who y'all take the money for? Campaign and Landry Shamet? Like, no, they're not worth passing up on Dunn and Collier, bro. I'm
well, I mean,
not giving them
I
that
will
excuse.
say you might say campaign is not worth it now because you've seen him throughout the season. But I'm
No, Ron, he was never worth it, Ron.
no,
I
no,
say, do you
no.
know? Do you
bro.
know who Collier
But
was though? Like to know who he was and to pass up on him makes no sense, bro.
But hold on, Stacks. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying you're wrong in the talent that Collier might display. What I'm saying is, I wasn't hurt by the Landry Shamet pick because I knew what Landry Shamet was. And you're seeing what we're seeing lately from Shamet is what Shamet is. That's what I expected to get. We just haven't seen it
Yeah.
until now.
Even even
and you
if
got to think
that,
he was
Ron, that
hurt. He
still
was
is not
hurt.
worth
He was
not
hurt too,
that,
yeah.
he- that
He
even
was
this year
hurt.
is not worth passing up on them draft picks.
Well, okay. One last thing, and I'll kick it over to Corey.
Yeah,
The
we
other thing
haven't
you also
drafted
got to
well for a
remember.
very long time, and that's the truth. We get good ones here and there, some crumbs here and there, but we have made some terrible Jordan Hill.
They made some terrible. I got the video.
Right, but
I
that's
got
a
the. I
different.
got it.
But
I
I don't
got
want
it.
to bring
But
that.
they
I
did
don't want to
terrible.
bring that up because
Yeah,
that's a different management. Leon Rose,
yeah.
if we had to grade him like about 100%, he's 85% around there. He's made
Nah,
some really
Ron.
good.
Facts.
No, he not. No, he
Yes,
not.
he is.
No,
Dude,
he's
Yes, he
not.
is.
don't forget, we still this Nick team, the same Nick team, guys. Carl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges on it. Let's not forget he's been making
He
moves.
traded 5 first-round picks for Bridges. That brought
It
that
don't
85%
matter. He's
all the way
here.
down to I
That's
don't know how
because
far that
they're
brought it down.
doing business and blood.
I ain't no
Hold on a
close to
second,
doing no
Stacks.
business. No, it's not.
Stacks.
That's
Listen,
close to doing
just listen
bad
for a
business.
minute.
That's bad business.
Stacks, please. Give me the opportunity to speak real quick.
Yeah, bro.
Check me out, bro. You got to think about this. Some of them picks may not convey. That's one. Two, by the time we get to them for where we're projected to be, you know what I'm saying? We won't be picking to the 25th and beyond.
That's not the point,
Pick.
Corey.
The whole second, blood. Just come on, calm down. I understand your argument, blood.
Yeah, bro.
I understand. I understand the hidden gems. That's your argument. The hidden gems.
No,
But
my argument is that they could have got more for that. It's not matter if the picks convey or not. Y'all still could have got more than what y'all got in that trade. It was a bad trade, a terrible trade. It don't
Well,
matter if the
Weezy's
picks
not
hold
convey
that
or not.
excited
hold
about
on.
it.
But Stacks, you got to understand, and I'm going to get back to Corey because I know Corey has a point. We did get more than people are realizing. We were able to get Mikal Bridges and still stay under the second apron.
facts.
That's the point for the. See, you look at it like the Knicks gave up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, who's good, but he ain't 5 first-round picks good. We got to move on from that. We already knew we were going to get hit with the tax. We traded with our back, our little brother, little cousin over there in Brooklyn, and we're getting a player that is no secret. Everybody knows the Knicks wanted him, and everybody knows he wanted to be a Knick. So the fact that and mind you, with all that being said, we didn't get hit with tampering from Macau. So we were able to do it the right way without getting hit with tampering. We gave up those picks, and that's probably the reason why we didn't get hit with tampering, because we gave them 5 first-round picks. I'm just saying and then
Facts.
Brooklyn. eight something. They took another player off our hands, and they gave us cash money back. That cash money allowed us to continue to stay under the second apron. It may not mean nothing to us generally as fans, but for the front office to still have that flexibility to be able to make if the Knicks would have gave up, because the Knicks would have probably had to give up something different. They would have gave up those picks, and who knows where the money would have lied. If we would have hit the second apron, you know how much less would have happened. We wouldn't be able to make any moves. Now I'm not saying I know PJ Tucker's not a big deal. You know what I mean? But no Delon Wright, none of that stuff would have been able to happen, and we would have been stuck with the same team. If anybody gets hurt, anybody goes down, we can't even replace anybody. We would have been done.
We would have been playing these
We
rookies
there
that
now.
everybody's covered
But there's somebody
who are
else. But
not ready.
you said he's trying to stay under the apron, but it's other players I could have traded for to stay under the apron besides Bridges and give up five first round picks for. So I don't get
Yeah,
that
but
argument either.
remember, but I know,
But
but
are they Mikal Bridges?
keep in
Yes,
mind, Scott,
yes. What y'all? Yes. What do you? What did y'all think I was getting? What y'all traded for? Y'all are not getting in that 5 pick. So it doesn't make no sense.
but you got to understand, everybody as fans are putting a lot of stock in
A
these 5
solid
picks.
two-way player.
The Knicks have had a bunch of picks. We had 11 first round picks at one time. The Knicks
Yep.
don't care about the picks no more. We already put together the team. See, that's the thing. Like, the organization is already telling you the picks matter to a certain extent, but we already put the team together that we feel is here to help us win going forward. So the picks didn't matter as much anymore. And not only that, the Knicks gave up 5 picks for Mikal Bridges and still were able to get Karl Anthony Towns because they knew they had a plan in place that they would still be able to flip it and get who they wanted. I'm just telling you, as fans, we might be thinking about these picks. The Knicks ain't thinking about the picks because the Knicks is done. Their mindset has changed. This is it. This is go all in. This is hope you put together the right team to go all in. Leon Rose has already said it. James Dolan said it on the they going all in with this roster, and this is who it's going to be. You might see a tweak here or there. This is the team, guys, and they knew
Next
it.
year,
That's why they
this
did it.
year, next year. Yep.
For the
They
next
traded
3 to
over them
5
picks for
years.
Bridges, thinking he's somebody else though, but he's not that guy. So they
Okay,
traded him
okay,
thinking he's
okay
somebody
then.
else.
All right. One more
Okay,
thing
so we
about
can
that.
twerk the roster from that point on.
Yeah. Well, hold on,
It's
Corey.
gonna
I'm
be
gonna let
hard.
you cook for
It's
real.
gonna be much harder. That's what I'm
No,
saying. That's why it
it
was a
is,
bad trade. That's what I'm saying. It was a bad trade, bro. It's
but
no
you
argument
only
about
saying
that, bro.
you're saying it's a bad trade now because you're seeing how it fits.
No, bro. I've been said it once they did it.
But you can't. So here's the thing. Let me go back for a second because I did this like about 2 months ago. We had this conversation, and I said it in this way. You can't say that the trade for Macau would not work or would be a bad trade because if you looked at the Knicks offense, looked at their defense, and everybody biggest complaint about this New York Knicks team was size, right? We don't have enough size. We need a better wing defender. So the
Yes,
first
bro.
get OG. We got OG. But then people kept saying, man, we still need 6'6", 6'7". We're too small against these teams. So then what do? They go out and get a 6'7" wing
Y'all got
who
the
is
wrong 6'7" wing. Y'all got the wrong one.
but
That's what
at
I'm
the time
saying.
that you're doing this, you look at somebody
Ooh.
who is up for a contract extension. You're trying to see, can we afford to have this guy long term? The Knicks feel like they can work his salary in. That's one. Two, can he play defense? Yes, he is a high level defender. I don't want to call him elite,
He's
but he was
overrated,
on
bro.
an
He's been overrated. And if you look at the numbers, it would have been told you he was overrated. That's what I'm saying. They
I
traded for
understand
this
Hold
where
guy
on,
you're
thinking they didn't
going,
do that.
but
They didn't evaluate him enough.
you might
hold on
be
a second.
right. But I'm looking at
One second, Ron. One second, Ron.
that.
Check me out though. Somebody who's familiar with said players. You know what I'm saying? The worst part of the trade was the second trade for Julius Randle, and that's the one that cost us the most when we lost. I say DiVincenzo because he puts up that 3-point volume that we missed. But
Exactly. Exactly.
okay then. Okay then. I get you because your point is valid to some degree. To some degree. Also, too now. Okay, we lost one Villanova boy and we got another one. Yo, time stands still when the fact that it's a possibility we can come get him again. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's up for free agency next year.
But we gotta worry about all of that though. Like, come on, bro. That's mad. That's a lot of
No,
stuff
we can
right
get
there,
we
bro.
can, yo listen. He can because the fact that he loved being in New York means that we can get him on a cheaper deal coming back. Just how we got remember how we got what you call it back on a cheaper deal, Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah.
Okay then, tranquilo, bro, tranquilo.
This this is
It
still
makes
a bad trade, bro. They could have done much better with that trade. That's all I'm saying, bro. Y'all
Yeah,
traded
but
for somebody thinking he was,
you're not
and
office
thinking somebody thinking
arguing.
he was somebody, and he wasn't that guy. Y'all thought he was a
all I'm
lockdown
trying to
defender, and
tell
he's not.
you.
He's never been that.
I hear
He
you.
is a
All I'm
decent
trying to
defender.
tell you, bro,
You can't say that.
Exactly. You
is
don't give
that
up
he
5 first
checked.
round
And
picks for a decent
hold on a
No,
second,
defender.
and he has
he's
NBA
saying
Finals.
a
He,
lockdown defender, Corey, not a decent defender.
They
He's
traded him to
saying
be. They traded him to be a
they called
lockdown
him
defender.
a
That's why they brought him here. They
lockdown
didn't bring him to be
wing.
no decent defender.
He's
They
not a
didn't
lockdown
bring
wing.
him
no,
here to
no, no,
average
no, no.
17.
But you
Go
got to
ahead.
think he has NBA Finals experience.
So that's not worth 5 first round picks. NBA Finals experience.
Are you crazy? Are you serious?
Salute, salute. What's good, everybody?
What's
You
happening,
got to
bro?
think. You got to. What's good, bro? You got to think this too. Now, with this said, though, what I just said, right? What did Boston do the year before last? They went and got back Al Horford.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because he was a needed piece. Am I correct?
He knows their system. They could depend on him.
What that got to do with the
Then
Bridges trade?
no, it's not. It has to do with the exact Bridges trade, but they let him go because they felt like because of the way the team was constructed, and they knew that they needed him back, and they couldn't afford him at that particular time.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see what you're saying.
It's
About
about
Dante.
money too. It's manipulating the bread, Bree. It's you know what I'm saying. That's what they all about, and trying to keep it. See the problem the Knicks have had for all those years prior to Leon Rose was overspending and not be able to and being stuck at a certain point. You understand what I'm saying? And not be able to go back. Which I honestly feel like we can go back for
They
Dante,
almost there. They almost stuck. They almost there. They almost there. By
but
trading
they're
first
not.
round, 5 first
The
round
key
picks for
word is
Bridges.
not. They're not. They're not.
I
They're
don't
not
know. We
there.
gonna see. We gonna see.
And Brock Aller ain't no sucker. He know how to stretch that bread.
He ain't been doing the
Listen,
best job at it, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. He could have done. He could do
bro,
better.
are you serious? He paid $1 over every other the fact that how we got Cat in here. He ain't no
I
dumb
don't
a
care, bro. They
dollar.
traded 5 first round picks for Mikal
One
Bridges,
no,
bro. That
hold on
was
a
a terrible
second.
trade, bro. I don't
A
care about none of the
single
other stuff they
George
did, bro.
Washington
I erase
for
all that stuff
each
they did, bro.
player.
I don't care. I don't care about the stuff that they did, bro. They traded 5 first round picks for Mikal Bridges, bro. That brung you from where you was at 100 all the way down to wherever it's at now, bro.
All right. I mean,
They
I
could
mean,
have done
listen,
way better with that
like
trade. Y'all traded
you
for a
we
2
entirely
can
lockdown
we can
correct
agree to
player. Y'all could have done way better
disagree.
with that trade.
a lot of people feel there's still a lot of people that feel the way you feel. They're not moving off of it. But you got to understand that it is what it is. The Knicks had to pay the Knicks tax to get the guy that they wanted. And
Facts.
as I was trying to say before, he checks the boxes. He's got
Why
the
are you
height.
calling a
He's
team you
proven
have that's gonna tax you? Why are you calling them and you beating down their door and you know they gonna tax
Because
you?
that's what we
That makes
needed.
no
because that's what
sense.
they because that's what they felt they needed.
They were wrong. That's what I'm saying.
And of course,
Well,
the
if
other thing too is they were also trying to model their team and the defense to be able to go up against guys like Boston, the Jalen Browns and the Jason Tatums.
Okay,
You
so
got a
why?
Timothy
And that's
and you
not
got a
Mikael. I'm
Mikal.
saying they were wrong. Like that, Mikael Bridges is not that guy. He's not a dog. He's not a
Okay,
dog.
can I say one thing real quick? Look,
in your
I
perspective,
totally agree with Stacks. I didn't like the trade from the beginning. I've always said I wasn't a big fan of Mikhail. The only thing that I liked the fact was he was a Villanova, you know, brother of the rest of the, to getting that Nova squad. That was about it for me. I really thought that they definitely needed a 6'7" guy, and because we had a hurt center, I really thought that when you took those picks, which is commodity in this league, in some respects, right? Not as deep as it used to be, but some respects, we couldn't deal with Danny Ainge, so like Kessler and for 5 first-round picks, I hear him. You should be able to get Kessler and Sexton and maybe a second-round pick back like that. I get that. Mikhail's resume being with teams that went deeper in Phoenix and all these other things spoke to the price tag. Now I'm speaking for the other side. Spoke to the price tag that he commanded because he played on teams that went deeper. He was on that Phoenix squad. He did all that stuff. But to be like he's now been here, right? So they made a mistake or they didn't make a mistake. Either way, he's here at this point, and if they got to go forward and this is not the right guy, then they got to change it. And hopefully, they really, really look deep this off season. And if he's not the guy, I hope that they don't get stuck in the fact that you got to save face sometimes. Oh, we traded 5 picks and we got to keep him. If they don't believe that he's the guy the same way Stacks doesn't, then they got to get rid of him and get somebody else. And that right there changes the entire dynamic of how much money we have. I think Mikhail myself has been too inconsistent.
And also too,
He's not a down defender the way he was pitched to us. He was pitched to us as a two-way player, lockdown defender. He has not shown that at all this year.
He hasn't shown it the year before that and the year before that either.
Right.
So
the point is but you can't take away that he's been a decent defender. But for that type of what he said,
go get Herb Jones. You the 6'7" wing. Go get Herb Jones
out there for somebody. You want that guy to be worth said amount. I know that many people are still questioning the Mikhail situation.
Right.
So like you said, so like you said,
it's gonna prove itself in the playoffs.
Yeah, and right, and if he does, then I hope the people that don't like him, like myself, I'll say like me. First of all, he's a Knick, so I applaud him either way. I don't get down that way. He's a New York Knick. He's here, even though I don't care for it. You best believe it's the front of the jersey I'm gonna clap for. So he's here. I want him to be extra dynamic. I want to see him go out of control. But you know what happens if he goes out of control? Then he's definitely getting re-signed. So no matter what, it is what it is. No matter what,
Right.
he's here. So at this point, it's not. It's like I've been seeing this never wanted bridges.
It's a plus.
All this stuff. So it's a plus and a minus depending on who's looking at it. And we need him to have that type of playoff. We need him to have that type of thing. But we did not see a lockdown defender. That was what was pitched to us. And that is the wing stop.
Right.
I have seen one, right? Now you get good
that's what
wings.
they traded for, Jay. So it was a dumb trade.
And the other ones are real tiny wings. You're like, where the hell this wing come from? A pigeon? But he's not. This ain't he ain't the wing stop that we thought he'd be. So
all right. Well, I mean, and I got a super chat that I want to get to, and then I want to get.
Right, do you think that was it? I was just trying.
No, I hear you. But the other thing too is I want to say that, and I think you said it. I think you said it right. He hasn't been the defender that we thought we were paying for. Well, I mean, that some people thought, because I kind of already knew my Mikal Bridges bag. Plus, because I was going back and forth with some Brooklyn fans prior to us getting him, and what they were telling me, because I don't follow Brooklyn, why would I? But
Right.
they were telling me, like, look, bottom line is he's a good player, but he's not what you may think he is. And I was like, okay. And they were talking about like he's had some defensive lapses, so he hasn't been the lockdown defender. He hasn't been the go-to guy on offense either. So I knew what Macau was. Macau, to me, I wasn't expecting what he did in Brooklyn, where he was dropping 30 and stuff at first when he was the main scoring option. I didn't think that was him. I think he was more of the 15 to 20 guy that I saw in Phoenix. That was a complementary piece. The Knicks are using him more as an option. I just thought he was a complementary piece that could score if they move the ball around. I didn't know that we were going to focus on using him as a scoring option. It's worked out because he scores a lot better than I thought. The problem with him is that he's just not consistent, because Macau's got the bag. Okay, you say what you will. His offensive game, he got enough to be effective out there. He's just inconsistent. So that's one. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I look at Macau and I say that he hasn't been the defender that we thought we were getting, but he's been a solid defender and he's had special moments. Because in Macau's case, he's had some big defensive moments for us that have helped us win games. So it's not like he
as
doesn't
well as
give.
offense.
And
Yes, it is not like he
offensively as
doesn't give you
well.
what you
Yep.
think you can use to win. He's just inconsistent and sometimes not aggressive enough. And that's why I don't want to depend on him. The Knicks should be depending on Jalen Brunson and Carl Anthony Towns. Now, one more thing I'm gonna say right before I get over to just Knicks. Shout out to Tory B, by the way. Notorious. We
Dum,
are
dum, 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 dum.
okay, yeah. Anyway. Um uh the other thing I wanted to say is, once again, the only thing that I could say that Leon Rose in the front office puts themselves in a position is sometimes they think about making a move and they have an idea of what's going to happen next, but it doesn't always work out the way they expected. Talked about this with iHeart, how we lost iHeart, and the Knicks really thought he was coming back. We talked about this. The other reason why they gave up 5 picks to bring in Macau is because they knew they still had Dante. Guess what? We traded for Cat and we had to throw Dante in there. So if the Knicks knew that they were going to go out there and get Cat and they would have to trade Dante, would they still have got Macau? I don't know.
That's a
That's
Mm,
what
good
I'm just
question.
trying to say.
that's a
Like,
great
you have a
question.
plan, but then something changes later
They should have
that
did
you
the
weren't
cat trade
expecting.
first. I don't know.
No, because they did the Macau trade first. Now they had apparently had Cat on the mind. They were trying to trade for Cat way before the Macau thing went down, but it just didn't come up. They didn't get no serious traction. But if they knew that if they would have to get rid of Dante, I don't know if they would have got Macau. Personally, I'm not sure. But anyway, whatever. Just Knicks, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on, everybody? Honestly, I agree with my guy Stacks, man. This Mikel trade, it's been a lot for us, and honestly, when we look at his entire body of work, from him playing in Phoenix to Brooklyn, like we gotta also count like those 2 seasons prior to us. He wasn't really a good defensive player. Now I get we sat up here and we traded the 5 picks. Okay, we gave it up. We before we had Mikel, didn't we beat Boston twice? So we traded for a guy who
Yep.
wasn't really that good defensively. We gave up the 5 picks, and like to his point, we could have gave that to Pelicans for Dyson Daniels and Herb Jones or some
Trey
combination.
Murphy.
Trey Murphy. We could have did those type of combinations, and I think the Pelicans extended Trey Murphy for 100 million, so it would have been a little bit cheaper. So we could have kept Dante and kept someone else instead of making that trade. Now, I get Mikel's on the team. Okay, he's repping the Knicks. Cool. But at some point, we gotta acknowledge that Leon with this trade, I kind of don't know. Like it's kind of iffy, and I get everybody wants to say, oh, Mikel, he could do good in the playoffs, this and that. We had 82 games to evaluate Mikel and see what Mikel is actually going to be for us. And in the 82 games, nobody here could really say, okay, we legit have a wing stop when it comes to us playing good top tier teams that are competing for a championship. Nobody here on this board will say that because we get smacked. You sitting up here, let Donovan Mitchell cross you up, do you up. Jason Tatum was having a field day with him. My 4-year-old son was like, dang, daddy, why he keep letting them shoot all over him? I said, at some point, it's nothing you could do. You just gotta take the whooping and keep it pushing. So it's just the whole thing with this Mikal trade, it's got a lot of people upset right now. And I understand, you know what I mean? Because we gave up 5 picks and we could have really invested that somewhere else. But outside of that, um, I hope he could kind of like wake up defensively as far as being more consistent. He's a good defender, but it's just certain things like I don't know if the game is moving too fast in the moment. Like the other night when they passed him the ball and it bounced off him and it went out of bounds. Like that was just crazy. And it's just like yeah, he's had good games where he had 40-point games, 30-point games, good, but at some point you gotta align that up against the good teams, not people who aren't really contending for championships. But that's just my thing.
No, that's fair, bro. I think you made a really good point. That's fair, and that's the biggest issue and the biggest point of contention with Mikal Bridges, and the frustrating part of it, because we know that Mikal Bridges has the defensive chops to be a really good defender, and he's not just a 3-and-D player. He's actually better than a 3-and-D player. I honestly, I will say, in fairness to him, I thought he was more of just a 3-and-D player. Watching him with the Knicks, I didn't know his mid-range bag was what it is. I didn't know that mid-range shot is pretty
Yeah,
pure.
it's
If we
tough.
look at that, it's pretty pure. And his layup package, he don't really miss layups. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, I'm a little surprised by that. He's a little better than I thought. The defensive bag, though, that's a little bit of a problem because for someone that should be so good defensively, he's got good height, got long arms. I don't know if he's a
Ron,
step slow.
I'm sorry,
If
sorry to
he's
cut you off, Ron, but oh, go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
No, but I was gonna say, remember, guys, 2022, 3 years ago, he was all defensive team, number one, first team. So it's not like he can't play defense. He had elite defense in 2022. He was on the first team all defense.
Do you think
That
he's
was
a
a
better
good team
defender than
defense, Ron. That
DiVincenzo?
team defense was good.
I,
Aiton was back
I
there.
hear
You
you.
got CP3 who was always talking. They had a good defensive team.
Right.
But
He's a good to great team defender. You have to
he
have
might
other
be a really
defenders
yeah,
around him.
he might be a really good
And that's
team
why I'm
defender.
saying Leon
Yeah.
and them should have known that before they made that trade. He's a team defender. He's not a great somebody you could just put out there to lock somebody up.
Ron, do you think he's a better defender than Dante DiVincenzo?
Honestly, prior to last year, I would have said yes. But if you guys
The only
look,
reason he is because he's taller and longer,
no,
pause. That's the
but
only
even
reason.
even that stacks,
Oh
he's
heck
not,
no.
because by the end of last year, when I looked at the numbers statistically, Dante finished like top 10 defense as a guard.
Yeah.
Dante
The only
got
edge I'll
busy
give
last
Mikal
year.
is his height. That's the only edge he has over Donovan.
But okay, one more thing I wanted to say about this too. Now I know where you're coming from, Stacks, but I'm gonna say one more thing about this. If you're the Knicks, Leon Rose, you got a defensive coach who's like a guru supposedly in Tom Thibodeau. You got a bunch of NBA players that have stepped up and had career years under Tom Thibodeau, even players that have left that have gotten more money elsewhere because of Tom Thibodeau. That's another reason why you fall for the bait and say, I bring a defensive type player, a guy who was first team all defense, and he has the height and he's got some offense, and put him on this Knick team with Tom Thibodeau. And we've got OG Anunoby already. You're going to think it's going to work out. That's all I'm
I
saying.
hear
It's
you.
going to
But you
look
gotta
good.
if you Leon, you gotta do your deep dive research and find out why did them guys have career years under Tom Thibodeau? Like why did they have them career years under Tom Thibodeau? You gotta go deeper in them in that research.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm just saying it all looked good. Tory B, if you
Yeah, it
want to
looks
come
good.
up here, we'd
Like if
love
you
to
don't,
have you. I'll put
that's
the
what I'm
link out
saying.
to you.
If
Both
you
of you
didn't
come up
watch
here.
Mikal Bridges and you just go off that name that he's known by, like yeah, it looks good and it sounds good. But if you did your homework and you knew who he was, you knew from the jump that Like I know people we knew this was a terrible trade from the jump. Because he's not a you don't trade 5 picks for a non all-star, and he is who he is already. He is who he is, but he's not getting better. So you don't trade 5 picks for a guy like that. He is who he is. And he's not an all-star yet, so for him to be an all-star, it probably has to be his team, and that's not the that would be to the benefit of the team. So he's not an all-star kind of player.
I can't argue with you. He's not shown to be proven to be an all-star yet, and you're right. It's all I'm saying is I get it. It doesn't look good, and from your perspective, Stacks, what you're saying makes a lot of sense. And I think everybody would agree with you that if you're looking to build your team, you think you would do the due diligence to say that this person makes sense or this person doesn't make sense. But the flip side of it is what I just said to you is hard to pass up. If you already know that you got a team with, and once again, let me say it one last time so it's clear that everybody who's listening right now knows. If you got a team that you think has Josh Hart, a decent defender, has Mitchell Robinson, a good defender that is eventually going to come back. We didn't know. Remember, this whole happened a while ago. We didn't know exactly how long it was going to take for Mitch to come back. Dante DiVincenzo was supposed to still be on this team. And then you bring in Mikal Bridges. You think it's going to work. And you already got these other offensive pieces in Jalen Brunson. You were working on a trade behind the scenes that we didn't know about yet for Cat. You think you hit the home run right here. You think it's going to work. So I'm
Ron, you
not
know my
saying
logic,
you're
Ron?
wrong. Go ahead, Stacks.
Men we don't think, men we know. We don't think. We know. We have to know. You
let,
have to
let
know.
me
You cannot
let me see
think. You
if
have to know. If you're gonna make a trade like that, you have to know. It's no
I
thinking.
I
I'm
hear
sorry,
you. I
Leon.
hear you. Let me see if I can get our girl Tori in here. See if we can hear from her. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see if this works. Tori.
Can you hear me?
Tori.
Yeah. What's going on?
Hello, love. How's everything?
Hanging in there, trying to feel better.
I'm glad you're feeling a little better.
Thank you. Thank you. What's your thoughts? You got the floor.
I came in late, so all I'm getting is the Mikal Bridges trashing.
Right. Right.
I'm just, I'm just a little confused about what everybody expected. First, they keep harping on these 5 picks. We not a lottery team, so these 5 picks are not going to mean much to us going down the stretch anyway. So we got to
True.
get this out of our head. Like that mind frame got to go. We gave up so many picks. The Knicks are going to pay a tax because they the Knicks. I
Right.
don't know how old everybody is in this room, but I've been a Knicks fan for a long time. I'm 48. I'll be 49 this year. So I've been a Knicks fan for a long time. We never get anything easy, ever,
Right.
from
Welcome to the
anybody.
club.
We never get anything easy. And I'm also a lot confused with a lot of the Mikal Bridges hate. Like I was on that train in the beginning of the season. I did not like him. But as the season started to progress, I understood. I'm like, okay, the guy is who he is. This is who we have. Right now, OG Anunoby is exactly what we wanted Mikal Bridges to be. We may not have gotten it from Mikal, but Mikal is not horrible. This dude was talking about how Tatum was crossing him up and Mitchell was crossing him up. We're talking about two premier players in the league. Who else did they do that to this year? Was it just Mikal Bridges? These are
He here to
Somebody
stop
superstars.
cooking
They're
up.
Tatum and
going to
Mitchell,
cross
Tori. He here to stop
everybody
them
up.
too, Tori.
Yo,
I get it.
preach, sister.
But
Yo,
who's
preach,
stopping them?
sister. Preach, sister. You
Who?
got the
I just want
pulpit.
to know.
Not stop them, but at
I
least
just
slow them
want to know
down. They were
who's
busting his
stopping them.
ass. They were busting his
I
ass.
get it. I
Yeah.
get it. But who else did they do that to this season? I watched the same Boston game you watched. Tatum was hitting amazing shots. If you're hitting a fall away three in the corner, who can guard that?
True.
OG.
Unless you're going to put OG is not going to guard Jason. He's not going to stop Jason Tatum from hitting a fall away three in the corner.
All most of the
This man
shots
was saying,
Tatum missed
hold
because
up,
of
wait.
OG, or most of the shots he made was on Bridges.
I
All right.
get
Well,
it.
hold
But
on one second, Stacks, and I'm gonna let Tori continue to cook. The
Yeah,
other thing
let her
too
go.
is
Yo, let her go.
the other thing too
you're
is don't forget I already highlighted it and pointed out my pet peeve earlier in the show. I put the video up. The last shot of the game, we up 3. They put their best defender in OG on Tatum. He still got the shot off and hit the 3 to
exactly.
tie the game.
Shook him up. OG was about a foot away from the man.
At least I
Crazy.
knew
But
we had a chance, bro. OG. We had. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
let's not act like he wasn't going to shake and bake on anybody. He was hitting incredible shots. Like they all were 40
Yep.
footers from half court. Like give me a break. And they still only beat us by 2 points. And I really I get so stressed out because everybody gets so mad about everything that's going on this season. They literally have played whole for what, 3 games?
Right.
We literally have only seen our whole team together for 3 games
Say it
this
again.
entire season.
Say it
I'm
again.
Look,
stressing too. I
be
get
preaching.
mad and I be looking at the I'm like, damn it, I really wanted to win. But at the end of the day, we literally have not played together. This is year one of what has to be a rebuild. iHeart left. There was nothing we could do. You gotta pivot.
Yeah.
This
Let me
was
make
our
this clear.
pivot, but you
I'm
also
not
have to
trashing
give
Mikal
me
Bridges. I'm trashing Leon
everybody
Rose, not Mikal
trashes
Bridges.
Mikal Bridges.
I'm trashing Leon
it,
Rose for the trade.
listen, we could all
But
Monday morning quarterback, right? We could all do it because
Right.
everybody sees something after the fact. But when you in the moment, you got to make the best decisions for your team. And he thought he was making the best decision. And we don't even know if it was a bad decision because we haven't given this team an opportunity to play together. We haven't. We
ouch,
haven't even seen it.
Right.
ouch.
Mitch just got back. Jalen was out. Like every time somebody came back, somebody else went down with an injury. We played
Right.
throughout the season with injury. We're actually going into the playoffs healthy. Are we going to win a chip? Probably not. But we're going to
Say
make
it
a damn
again,
good
girls, so the back
showing.
of the congregation can hear.
We probably not going to win it. We probably not. This team was put together a week before training camp, but a week before the season started.
Right. Had
A
no
week
time to
before the
practice
season, they
together.
had no time to get together with each other. They literally did not play together this whole season. No Mitch. Precious was down. You had dudes
Shamet
in and
was
out the
down.
lineup. Like your Shamet went down. Like everybody was getting hurt one at a time. So when this team ever gonna play together? Yeah, do they have a lot of talent? Absolutely. When the Knicks are clicking, they can run with anybody. They showed you that in that Boston game. That was the first game they played together with everybody, and they lost by 2 points to Boston, the defending champions. Like y'all gotta give
We
these
beat
guys, cut these guys
ourselves.
some slack, B. Like we are the worst fan base ever. We complain about everything. We the worst, and I'm guilty of it because I do the same thing. But at the end of the day, you got to give these guys some time. This is literally year one of a rebuild. Year one.
Facts.
Did y'all really expect them to win a championship this year? Like, give me a break.
If you want to trade 5 first-round picks,
You
you should
could
be expected
you
to win a championship that
listen. You
year. Yeah.
trade what you
Well, no,
trade
no,
to get
no.
what you could get, and trades don't equal championships every single time. Like y'all harp on this one
Say it again,
thing.
girl.
End of the
Right.
day, these guys had to make moves. What did you want them to do? Could they have gotten somebody
Make a
better?
different one. That's
Maybe,
what I wanted to do.
maybe they could have got somebody better, but I doubt it.
They could have. They could have.
I doubt
But
it.
can I?
And even
She,
if they
you're
could, that
cooking.
just doesn't mean that
No,
it
let
was
her
gonna
go.
work out. Like I'm not the biggest Tibbs fan. I don't think he's the right coach for this group. I don't think he's a horrible coach. I just don't think he's the right coach for this group.
I
I
agree
think
with
a
I
you.
agree with
lot of
you.
the things that happened with this team this year are literally his fault. He didn't get them rookies ready, and we were decimated with injury last season. Even if you think these guys ain't good enough, you get them in there, you play them because you know what? You might have to use them. But he didn't do that.
Points back to Leon again. The guy who I'm talking about. Y'all
Listen,
talking about Bridges. I'm talking
again,
about Leon.
again, again, you can blame Leon for everything you want to blame him for. But as a Knicks fan, right, I can say this to you because I don't know how old you are. But me, I've been through a lot of Knicks teams. This
I'm
right here
30.
is I'm 48. This has been the absolute best Knicks team that I've seen in my lifetime.
Or it's kind of
Me too. I agree.
So, but yet but we shitting on them. I'm
Oh,
sorry, Ron, I
telling.
didn't mean to curse, but hard
No,
body.
I hear you. I hear you.
We picking a team
Did I shit
apart.
on them? I
Like
ain't shit on them. Did I shit on them, bro?
No,
if
Last
no,
year's
no.
you
team was a little
you
bit
could we
No,
better.
could
you good.
criticize
You good.
players, right? Because there's nothing wrong with criticizing players. Everybody got like
What did I
Jalen's a bit of a
criticize? What
ball
did I
hawk. No,
say?
no. I'm not talking
What
about you
you say?
specifically. I'm
McCall's
talking
not the
about in
guy.
general. And he may not be. But we don't know if he's really the guy because we really haven't had a chance to get this team together the right way all
He's not
season.
a guy you
Everybody
trade
has
five
had
first round picks for. That's
you
all I'm saying.
again,
Five
again with
first
these
round
5 picks.
picks. That's
So
all I'm
what? They
saying.
going, but it's nothing we could do about those picks. You want to blame somebody for this team getting blown up? Blame Ihart. He knew he wasn't coming back because he knew we didn't have the money for him. Say that up front. He
Yeah.
waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, and then at the end we had to make a quick
You said
move.
blame
damn.
who?
You blame
I
Ihart.
heart.
I
I
heart.
heart.
He's
Blame
the one
Leon. That's
who left.
Leon. Why are you
You
waiting?
how do you waiting on
No,
what?
Leon offered him the money. He had
I
a
was
He
on
contract
didn't
mute
accept
at
sitting
it
there.
yet.
Wolf
So
Terry.
move on. He
He
didn't accept
didn't.
it. Move
We
on.
offered him every dime that we could, and at the end of the day, he would have made more money as a Knick than he would have going to the other team. But you know what? He left. That man left,
You should have been prepared
and
for
they
that. You
had
should have
to
been prepared
pivot.
for that.
You prepare
We
when you talk.
were.
This is your team, right? You're dealing with them. You have conversations with them. So if you're in the mindset that this guy's gonna come back, that's because you had a conversation with him and he made it appear that he was gonna come back to your team.
Hey,
You
you should
think
have knew
he?
he
I
was
mean, at
lying.
the
Yeah.
You
end
should have
of the
known.
day, right? At the end of the
He
day,
meant.
we're not GMs, so we're not in those rooms. We don't have those discussions. It's easy for me and you to criticize because we're not having those conversations. We're not in those rooms. We don't know what's going on. We get all the information after.
It's easy to not
If
criticize him
Leon
too,
was
because
if
we not in them
Leon was
rooms, right?
smart enough to get as much of these players together as he could, then that means he was having them same conversations with our that man left. He's what blew up this team.
Leon, that's Leon's fault. You can't. How you blame iHeart for leaving? What? You
He
shouldn't have thought. You shouldn't have believed he was going to stay in the first place. That's
okay.
What
your fault for
We
Stacks?
believing
You
in
gonna
him.
can't
agree. We're gonna
hold
agree to
on 1 second.
disagree because that's
Stacks, you
just
can't
not
say that. You can't say that because he was giving the impression that he wanted to come back to the Knicks. So you
Okay,
can't say
exactly.
bro,
that.
come on, man. It's business, Ron. It's business, Ron.
Yes, in
The
the
impression he
business
got,
and in
bro.
this
I'm
business,
offering you this
you
contract right
accept.
now. As men, I'm offering you this contract. If you don't sign it, I'm moving on.
If you want to say that an ultimatum should have happened so that way the Knicks can continue with their business and not be strung along, that's fine. It didn't happen that way. You want to say that that's an indictment on Leon, just not because he put himself in a situation that kind of put him behind, and then by the time iHeart made his decision, now the other big guys that the Knicks could have got were off the board. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean that could be the case. You might be right there. Listen, nobody said Leon Rose is perfect, but he
People act
did.
like he perfect, Ron. They act
No,
like
I
Nah,
don't.
nah.
Nobody does. Nobody's perfect. I'm not saying he made all the right moves. I'm saying if you're looking for a reference point as to why this team is what it is, that's where you go. Isaiah Hartenstein leaving because that's
That
where the pivot came.
that point
and
back to
that's
Leon
huge.
again.
And no, and
That was
I'm not.
huge.
Listen, that again, we don't know if none of this is gonna work out. But as Knicks fans, we gotta give it a chance.
And
You
and
gotta give
another
it a
thing,
chance. Like
just to just to I don't want to cut you, Tori. Just to piggyback on what you're saying, you want to go back to the iHeart thing being the pivot. The other thing too is now. I mean, come on. Am I wrong as Nick fan? Do we not all see how important iHeart was to this Nick team? Do
Hell
we not
yeah.
see what he's
Hell
doing
yeah.
in OKC? The dude, he's in defensive player of the year conversation at OKC.
right,
iHeart was a big part of this team, bro.
Hell yeah,
iHeart
man.
took one look over that OKC team, saw
His
what
and
they
broke.
IQ
did
is
that
all he
year
got IQ. His
before,
IQ is high, man. His IQ off
saw
the
what
charts,
they
man.
did before. Hold on, brother. Saw what they did before, and he decided on his own future. He said that he have a chance to win a chip with these guys here. I had a great time in New York. Thank you. And he saw he could be a center. He saw himself being a backup to Mitch when Mitch came back and didn't want to be that. That's just what happened. So he went to OKC where SGA is a monster and everybody else is playing well and they have a solid chance to win a chip now. So he chose.
Exactly.
All right, and that's that. And one of the best things that Tori said was, and because we've all been guilty of this in our life, we thought we were doing the best thing for our team at the time. Have you never been in a relationship that you thought you were doing the best thing or you picked the best person and they turned out to be a complete, I can't say it on the show. So do you
Dude,
understand what I'm saying to you is that we thought it. I heavily disliked this trade,
but but but
this
but,
pickup with Bridges. But now he's a
but
Nick. I gotta root for him. I root
but also
from the
Well, I'm
jersey.
not
We
getting
should
mad
not
at him.
look
I'm not mad at
backwards.
Bridges.
It's done. It's done.
but But hold on a
Some
second,
of those
Stacks. I'm gonna
picks,
say this
some
too.
of those picks, by the way, them kids are in junior high school. We have no idea what they're gonna be. Last but not least, because I'm leaving, I just want to say, Tori, you were cooking that was very, very
Yo, she
real.
was on point all the
Yeah,
way.
but there's a problem. There's not one problem. There's not a McHale problem. There's not just a Tom Thibodeau problem. I do think that he's outdated for
You
this
straight?
squad. We need a younger coach for this
Yeah,
team.
thank you.
It's not just a Leon problem. It's not just a Mitch problem. It's not a Cat problem.
You love
It
me. Yeah, I heard
is
you.
we became a team 1 week before the year started.
Thank
That's
you.
the problem. Where you don't just make teams like that.
Right.
OKC has been together, was in first place last year, and they're in first place this year, and they're going for the chip. iHeart made a life changing move, not for his family, for what's best for his life. Yes, Leon should have pivoted. Yes, it's all about business, but we don't know down to the dollar, the cap space, the moves, the money. Follow the money. It's all about the money and how much you can do
Yep.
with it. That's that. Saying that,
And
my son is fighting tonight in Jamaica, Queens, in the octagon. I gotta get ready. Peace and blessings. Tori, you just
God
rocked
bless.
it.
Good luck to him.
Thank you.
Good,
Yes.
good
Good
luck.
luck to your
Blessings to
boy.
your son,
All
bro.
right,
Thank you,
That's
man.
Victory.
right.
I'm
Corey,
gonna hit you with a
Tori,
victory.
blessings to you. Ron, thank
all
you
right,
as
Jay.
always for allowing me on. As today, you saw today, I was just kind of the listener and hearing it. But look, I think everybody, look, two things could be right or wrong at the same time. So it's not really,
Yep.
let enjoy each other, man. God bless you, man.
It's
All right,
about
my brother.
expectation.
Good luck to your son once again.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Hold on a
Ron.
second.
Yo, keep feeling better. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you,
And
man.
Corey, I hit you back. I'll talk to you later. Peace,
Yeah.
man. Peace.
Go ahead, Corey.
Now,
What were you
Tori,
going
you
to
be I
say?
want to back you up. What you just said with that iHeart thing, that affected the whole Julius Randle contract situation too. It was all a domino
Mm-hmm.
effect. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why Julius Randle couldn't get the money that he wanted to covet from New York because New York owed him some money. We owed him some money because
Right. Listen.
uh, he took hold on a second. He took what was offered to him 2 times and not what was expected of what he could have got. But he took that because he knew it would lead to greater things. With
Mm-hmm.
that said, though, with that said, my dear, you are so right because of how everything came down. It started with iHeart, it hit Julius, and then after that, then the Knicks had to what? Pivot. Go
Right.
ahead, you good.
No, I just was gonna give Julius his flowers. He always gonna be all right with me. He came when nobody would. He always gonna be all right
Facts.
with me.
Facts. He
Yeah.
had to grow on me, but once he grew, he stuck on me like a mole.
Yeah,
Nasty.
I
Nasty ass
got no
mole.
issues with Julius.
Well,
So
so
Ron, Tori, and Corey. All this business, OKC. I mean, Leon has done 1,000 trades with OKC these past couple of seasons, right?
we had a couple moves here and there.
Draft picks, trading little draft picks in here and
Uh-huh.
there.
Uh-huh.
So you couldn't ask Sam Presti if he going how much he gonna offer your man Hardenstein.
Well,
Come on,
Didn't
bro.
matter.
Come on,
no,
man.
it
Nah,
wouldn't
that's
matter.
business.
It didn't
That's
Yeah.
matter
business.
in the grand
That's
scheme of things.
business.
Like
You
you
talking
harping
business.
on dollars and cents that ain't mine or ain't yours.
I'm just
At the
saying.
end of the day, Isaiah
Preach, girl.
Hartenstein
Preach.
gave us every impression that he was going to come back, and he didn't.
Everybody and their mother knew that OKC Orlando was gonna throw him the bag. Leon should have known that as well.
Well, look, I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
just
also
want
too, you got to think about the collective bargain agreement too, which they got to abide by. And if they throw him more money, he can't take so much less. So much less. You understand what I'm saying? They threw him 70 M's, bro. 70
Exactly. You
M's.
should have known somebody was gonna throw him that. Somebody was
Hold on a
gonna try
second.
to.
Yo,
He fit OKC like a
listen,
glove.
listen. Nobody in this world thought that he was going to get 70 M's. Nobody thought he was going to get 70 M's. Are you
He got more than
serious?
that.
it's
Well, I'm
only
saying
so much
70
you
plus
can
M's.
it's only so much you
But
can
you got
do
to
in
think
those
about that.
situations.
Yeah, exactly. We were stuck. We knew because we also knew what we were going to do prior to all of this
going into right after we fell out the playoffs.
We literally could go back and
Come on,
forth
man.
about this all day. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, it's done.
Hindsight's 2020.
This is the team that we had. Yeah, but we're not in those rooms. Hindsight could be
Yeah.
100. At the end of the day, what's done is done. This is the team that we had. And not for
It
nothing, we're still in third place.
we
With
are.
all
In
of
the
that
East.
going on, we still
Still
managed to
won
be
50
third.
games.
What would we have been in the West?
In the East.
Somebody tell me. I'm sure somebody can say it's computer. I'm driving.
In the
What would
West,
we have
we
been in the
probably
West?
be like
Fourth?
what? No.
Hold on, I'll tell
What
you
our
right now. Give
record
me
is
a
our
second. Let
record.
me
What
see.
would we have been in the West?
Uh,
I don't know. The West is crazy.
we would have been tied for third in the West.
Oh, you talking? No, I'm talking about like in general. Put this team in the
Oh,
West Coast Conference. That's what I'm saying.
but if you're in the West Coast Conference, maybe you're making different moves. I don't. Who knows? If it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
I'm
This is
not
the
blind. I'm
team
saying I'm
that we
not
have.
blinded by them 50 wins. I'm not
With
blinded
third
by that
place
50
in the
wins.
East with a
Y'all blinded by that.
brand. I'm not. I'm not blinded by it either. But what I'm saying to you is they managed to accomplish a three seed in the Eastern Conference with a brand new team that has been dealing with injury the entire season. And we
Yep.
sitting up here Monday morning quarterbacking. We have
And
zero
here's another
idea what
thing.
this team is going to look like in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, if we get bumped out in the first round, we get bumped out in the first round. Life happens. Like shit happens. It
Yeah,
is what
just
it
Ano- uh,
is.
Another thing to
They'll
that,
come
Tory,
back as a
too, is
better team next year because they have. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say another thing to your
I'm sorry,
point that you're
Rongo.
saying is that all of this stuff happened. We watched the Knicks struggle with apart all the elite teams this year, lose all these games, and we have remained in third place damn near the whole season. Haven't
because the
moved,
talent they have.
which tells you something. So I think Stacks, what I'm trying to tell you that I know a lot of Knick fans are struggling with, and it's hard because it ain't easy. I get it. You're going to look at, you see the games, you looking and witnessing it yourself. But the process of winning a championship, the process of becoming a good team, a legitimate team, a contender, is not overnight. And we watched it in front of our eyes with another team that we're going up against in Boston. Boston has had the same team for how long now, and they have not been able to win until last year. So the fact we
Mhm.
just all I'm saying is we have to keep our mind open to the fact that this may not be the year, but that doesn't mean that this ain't the team.
Tonight, got to get his guys some time together.
I like the team. I just don't like the coach.
Every
That's my
time
only.
they get something decent, everybody get mad, they blow it up.
I feel like they
Got to give
winning
him some
despite this
time.
coach.
Damn, I might have
Right.
that. I gotta coin that. Let me remember that. This might not be the year, but that doesn't mean this ain't the team. Oh, it's written
That's
down now.
right. That's
That
it.
might be my phrase.
That was a good one, Ron. Preach. Boss.
Bars. I appreciate y'all, man. I like today's conversation has been great. It's been real spirited, and I know a lot of Oh, by the way, Stacks, they wanted me to do this for you earlier because they felt like this is where you was in life. Hold on, let me let me show you what they wanted for you.
See if I know the ledge.
They felt like you jumped right out the window, brother. So I just want just want you to know I'm with you though. I understand, and I think you made some really good points, very valid about how you feel about the decision to give up the 5 picks. But one more, I know you probably ain't gonna agree with this either. But what if I put together, right? What if I put? It doesn't matter who the names are. I put
Mhm.
together the team that I feel like can win the championship. But I'm like, damn it, there's just that one piece that I'm missing. And the team knows that I want the piece. And I'm like, I got my championship team if I get that piece because everything else is good to go. Do I care if they ask me for a little bit more than what I wanted to give up, but I got it to give it up? That's the question I want to ask you. If the Knicks legitimately feel, because remember what I just said, this may not be the year, but this may be the team. It just may not be the year. If the Knicks feel like this is the team, do you think they care that they're giving up 5 picks for a guy if he adds to what they want?
Nah, they didn't care because they thought he was that guy. But that's what I'm saying. They didn't care. They had the right to not care for thinking he was that guy. But I'm just saying they were wrong. That's all I'm saying. That's all
Yeah,
I'm
I hear
saying.
you. I
I
got you,
understand that
Parrish. I
they
got
thought he
you
was
right
that
now,
guy. So
brother.
yeah, go trade your 5 picks. But y'all were wrong. That's all I'm saying.
I got you
Mikel
right now,
wasn't
brother.
supposed to be the guy though. He was supposed to be a piece.
That's a
Yes.
guy.
Thank
I'm
you.
saying, Tori, for 5 picks, you don't trade 5 picks for a piece, Tori. That's all I'm
You
saying.
trade you trade whatever you need for the piece you need.
And how is
Especially
that
if they
working?
thought they was building a
Facts.
championship team. Like again, we not in them rooms. You don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. We get the after effect.
Hold on a second.
Now,
Not only
I will
on
Everybody
top
say
of
want
this.
they
all of
want a quarterback, but none of us are GMs, so we all have better jobs.
all the
True.
presidents.
Right? We're not. We're
It's
not.
true.
Not
We're
only
not,
that,
we're not those people. We're not.
Let me just
We're
read this
not the
super
brain
chat real quick.
trust.
Uh, Shout out to Paris Duggan. Thank you for the super chat, my brother. Appreciate you. He said, clean up this. Jalen Duran, JWDB would have cost us Brunson. Uh, Tibbs wins or loses this because if he forced Cat in the post to run offense, we trash Detroit. So, okay. Uh,
I'll clear
I
I
that
didn't
up.
understand
get
what
that.
you're saying. I think maybe because you're going back and forth with the whole. I know people have been talking about Jalen Duran. When we already went back and forth with this many times, you guys know that.
Hold on, Ron. Responding to Kev and co-host Nixon Nish. Call. You have to call people. Call people. You do your homework to find out who's available. New Orleans was figuring out what they were going to do with Ingram,
He gonna
and
die.
Trey
That's
Murphy.
what.
Call New Orleans and see what they want to do.
But the
Call
thing,
Portland.
Damage
Call
good.
Diddy Avia. Call everybody.
but so here's the
That-
thing, Stacks. I think that one thing that I think this Nick team does, because remember, some of the moves that they have made have not been on the radar. When we got Mikal Bridges, no one was expecting us to get Mikal Bridges at that point. When we got OG Anunoby, people
OG.
was like, Toronto ain't gonna deal with us. They mad at us. We suing them. Nobody even thought that was a thing. So
Facts.
I do think the Knicks is calling
Exactly.
around. They doing their due diligence, bro. I think they calling. But what I want to say is just because a guy is out there doesn't mean the Knicks are gonna get him. Like in the chat, somebody said 5 picks. You could have gave that up and got Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine had a no trade clause, and he already said he didn't want to be a Knick. And his agent said he doesn't want to be a Knick either because of the
Zach
LeBron
LaVine.
thing, and so there's certain things like there's players out there this that may look attractive that we could get that ain't coming here.
Say it again. So the back of the church can hear.
I just wanted to put it out
Please.
there. You said Herb Jones. Who wouldn't want Herb Jones? But guess what? New Orleans is trying to get rid of that dead weight that they got over there. They ain't doing nothing. They traded Ingram. Once they traded Ingram, Herb Jones ain't going nowhere. Now they need him.
That's what I said before you. This was all before they traded Ingram, Ron. This is all before
But
they traded
there's
Ingram. They made
I
the
hear
trade.
you. But the flip side, Stacks, is that for New Orleans, they wasn't trying to trade Herb Jones. They'll trade Bobby. They'll trade Brandon Ingram to you, but the
Brooklyn
Knicks
wasn't
need
trying to
money
trade
anyway.
Bridges.
Would you rather
Brooklyn
have
wasn't trying to
Ingram
trade
on this team
Bridges.
right now than Bridges? Not me.
No, I'm not. I don't want Ingram. I wanted Murphy or Herb Jones.
And
Both
those
of them
players
preferably for
ain't
5
going
picks.
nowhere. Those are two guys that you build your team around. That's why I'm saying like you can't get those type of guys. Could the five first round picks be spent better? Maybe with the time, but the time frame and the ability to get that player was right then and there.
You could have got
Taken.
Herb Jones for
They
3
didn't get
first
it.
round picks or 2. You could have got that guy, bro.
no. You talking about the immediate moment. You talking about the immediate moment.
I'm
You
talking about
understand what I'm
yes, the
saying?
moment once the season ended, y'all made that call for y'all calling Brooklyn. No, call New Orleans. Call Portland. Call
Yo,
for Avia and Tamani Kamara.
I,
bro,
I mean, look,
it's not that as
Why
simple
wasn't
as you
it? Y'all
make it
should have added
seem.
Cam. Cam Johnson should have been in that trade. Cam Johnson, throw Mitch in that trade and get Cam Johnson.
Bro, and we're without Mitch right now.
Mitch wasn't here the whole season, bro. What are you talking about?
but at
You could
that
have been
time they
found his
didn't
Stop it.
know
replacement. You
that.
made that trade,
They
you would
didn't
have
know
found
that
Mitchell. You
he was
could
going
have
to
been
be here
found
the
his
whole
replacement.
season.
Stop it. Because now you reaching. Now you
How
reaching,
am I
bro.
reaching?
Yes, you are. Because you moved the field goal. You moved the post. You did.
I
Because
said
now
you
I'm
make that
sure.
trade, you trade Mitch,
No,
then you
no,
work on
no.
finding
Because
his
no,
replacement.
'cause now I'm kicking 60 yards from 35. You understand what I'm saying?
You just moved it.
Huh?
My point to you, my because I'm trying to explain to you. I'm trying to explain to you at that moment because you're making moves in the moment. You're not making moves thinking you on the phone with everybody at the same time because everybody knows when you on the phone because they talk to each other. These are GMs. There ain't but 30 people on the phone at one time. You can't. You can. It's just like you trying to holler. You on the block, and there ain't but five cute girls on the block, and you can't holler at all five of them. You understand what I'm saying? To get what they got,
I'll go to y'all one by one.
but no, but you can't because they talk. They talk. You understand what I'm saying? New York just offered me this. You understand what I'm saying? New York just offered me this. New York just offered me this, and that's three out of the five. Am I lying, Tori?
Nope.
I'm
Thank
confused,
you.
Parrish.
They
Let me know
talk.
what you mean, man. I'm trying to understand. Did I do something, or you saying that I don't know, brother? I don't know if I understand your super chat. Then if I didn't say it correct.
Yo, it's 30 teams in the league, soon to be 32, possibly in the next 4 or 5 years. They talk amongst each other. So when I bring something to you, and I'm trying to get this deal done as quick as possible, you know what I'm saying? No matter no matter what the cost may be, because this is my pockets I'm spending, not yours. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah, bro.
Because today's prices aren't tomorrow's prices.
I still not buying that, bro. I'm
Bro,
not buying it.
Well,
man, bro,
I
you
mean,
put too much you
you
put
gonna
too much
have
thought
to
into it. It's
you
the
gonna
cost
have
of
to agree
doing
to disagree
business.
on this one.
It's supposed to doing bad business.
You're gonna die on
In your
that hill.
perspective.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
because
die on that
ain't no way to get
hill.
around that.
It's
Hey,
bad
bro, and
business.
that
You
hill's
playing with teams
sitting,
you know gonna tax you.
yo, that's sitting in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on a pebble. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
he gonna die
bro?
on that hill.
Yo,
I'm
yo,
dying on that hill. You calling a team that you know
I'm
gonna
gonna give
tax
you,
you. That's terrible business.
I'm gonna give you a snorkel,
All
bro.
right, fellas, I
What I'm
gotta
saying,
cut out.
All right, Tori.
It
yo,
was
I'm
good.
about
It
to
was
wrap up
good
anyway,
talking to
but once again,
everybody.
thank you for jumping
yo,
up here.
Tori, pop
Thank you
up
for
on
your
us,
pick. That was
yo.
dope.
I try.
Yo, no doubt.
I try.
Hey, yo, Tori, pop over there, man, and give your thoughts over there over on Uncle Freeze, yo. We ladies to come over there and shout, you know what I'm saying, and let them know it's safe to come up there and speak your piece, you know what I'm saying, and stand on your ones and twos. Because I like how you stood up today, I should say, 10 toes down. I respect that. Real talk. Even though we agree, even though we disagree, you come up there and do your thing, sweetie.
All right. Okay. Well, let me wrap this up here. Let me just first up before we go, I wanna say any final words that we gotta get to. I appreciate
We never got to what's the
everybody.
name super chat.
No, I said I read it already. Did everybody not hear it?
He didn't want us to respond to it or something, or
Nah,
it
he
was just
didn't
something you
hear
guys
I
it.
don't
read.
I don't he said a
It was his
submarine?
throat
I
off.
don't know what he meant. I'm confused. His super chat was this. So what I'm confused. Clean up this. Jalen Duran, JWBB would have cost us Brunson. Tibbs win two Tibbs wins or losses this because if he forced Cat in the post to run offense, we trash Detroit. I don't know what I'm missing.
Yeah, yeah. That was
I
yo. His
think
Twitter fingers was not
I mean,
working right.
what I already talked
oh,
about prior.
he's saying if we drafted Duran and JW, it would have cost us Brunson. Is he asking a question or is he trying to be sarcastic?
No, no,
I don't know. I don't
no.
know. I'm confused.
I think what he's saying was is the fact that because the whole we got Durnan, it would have hurt us trying to move forward, getting getting
Well, I mean,
getting Jalen
we
Brunson.
couldn't get Duran. That was the point. We couldn't get Duran, which we've already talked about this multiple times on this show. Duran was drafted for Detroit. Detroit did us the favor. They took um, Kimball Walker off our hands, and was we they also gave us a little cash. The agreement was when we gave them our pick, we would draft Jalen Duran for them, and then the money and stuff that we used and that we saved from moving out of the first round, we put that together to offer Jalen Brunson $106,000. I mean, 106 million. Sorry,
And
that
then
was
so
for
that was the agreement.
yeah.
That was
That's
the
what
agreement.
happened. That's how it happened for me. That's how I remember it.
Yeah. So
I
if
gotta
with
look that up.
that said, but with that said, that means that was a done deal. So just
Yeah,
what I'm saying, move on from that. You know what I'm saying? And look, I mean, Jalen Duran is cool, but and he had a great, phenomenal season. But okay, he's still
not
not
taking
Mitchell
him over
Robinson.
Jalen Brunson.
And I'm not taking him over Mitchell Robinson right now, even though Mitchell Robinson's not, what I'm saying, finite in the best situation. But still, he's still here and he's been proven. He shows you what he can do. I'm telling you, once I'm telling you, who said it best? Who was it? I was up here today. I think it was Shop Powers. Once we figured out that we was good and we was stuck in that third position, Tibbs was like, "All right, let's back it off." You understand
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
they
And what I
started
was trying
moving
to say
people.
earlier, yeah, exactly, like I said earlier, as a coach. And this is the preseason of the playoffs. These last 4 to 5 games. Listen, you throw those little things in there just to see how teams react to them, just so you can, what I'm saying, you can adjust from that right then and there. You got putting too much thought into having every victory. You understand what I'm saying? And we're not getting 72, 79, 73, 74 victories this year. Let it go. Let it go.
Uh, I got you,
Let it
Parrish.
go.
All right, thank you. I see what you're saying. Yeah, you was trying to educate the other people that because they kept throwing names on them, they forgot how that went. Yeah, like that was the deal. We had to draft Jalen Duran for them as a part of the whole thing of them taking Kimba off our hands. We threw a first round pick in there, all that, but it was a whole big deal to allow us to keep some money together so that we could offer Jalen Brunson what we did and get him out, from Dallas. That was the whole point
Yeah,
of it.
because it would have cost us more money if we didn't do that. Think about it. What it would have cost us. We still would not be in this situation right now. Tranquilo, Knicks fans. Listen, let's let go of the regular season right now. Who won the mid season? I mean the cup season championship. Who won that round if you remember?
I don't know. I was in New. I don't remember. New Orleans. I don't even know who was. Who was it?
Okay. Whoever it was, they're the regular season champions.
Uh,
Hold on to it. They can hold on to the regular season championship, which doesn't mean ish. What we're striving for is the Larry O'Brien.
facts.
You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
There's that big gold ball
Oh,
that sits on top of
Milwaukee.
their cup. Okay, so
Thanks,
be it.
T&L.
You know what I'm saying? So be it. Yeah, they could take that and put that in their trophy case and be the regular season champion for the middle part of the season. Who gives a damn? You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
But at the end of the year, who's going to be the NBA champions? That's what we're striving for.
That's
And
all that
right now,
matters.
right now, I feel like Tibbs is doing his Burger King thing, mixing, matching, whatever he can to get, what I'm saying, the $10 Groupon receipt for the chip with the groceries that Leon Rose gave him.
Facts.
Don't
Well,
mess
let
with
me
the
do this.
don't mess. Hold on a second. Don't mess with the gumbo while he's stirring it when he's putting what I'm saying, the sassafras in it.
Sassafras. That's fair. Let me see who's on the docket real quick because I mean these games don't really matter. I'm just saying it to say it. I ain't doing no breakdown and none of that. Yeah, next game is tomorrow versus Brooklyn at 1 p.m. Ain't much to talk about. We'll see. The Knicks may not play anybody. It might be like that preseason game where the Knicks benched everybody and played all the young people. We'll see. But
It's gonna be
anyway,
G League. Our G
yeah,
League versus
it's gonna be a
they're
G
starting
League
G
game.
League.
But I just want to get over final words, Corey.
Hey man, Nick fans, let go of your biases. Let it go. Well, now this is the time where we come together. We combine. We come together like Voltron and form up like one to stomp out the Detroit, the Boston's, and the Cleveland's, and we try to get to the NBA Finals. That's what we got to do right now, from this point on. And it's your energy that adds to it. You ain't got to believe the way I believe, but trust me when I say this, because energy is everything, and what you put it into is what you get back. You understand what I'm saying? Like my wife always says, attitude is everything, and I'm gonna rock out on that.
Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Stacks, last
No,
final
thank you
words,
for
my
the
brother.
hat, because that's it's Gucci.
Um,
I'm trying to throw it on with my shorts.
I'm mad I didn't get one for myself. Stacks, what's your thoughts, brother?
Uh, they should bust the Knicks. I mean, they should bust the Pistons' ass just off of talent. My only worry is coaching. But other than that, they should bust the Pistons' ass. We'll see what happens in the second round. Tibbs is gonna
All
have
right.
to put on his coaching gloves on, man. Make something happen.
I hear you. I hope for the best. I hope he makes the right moves, and I hope the players play the way we think they can play because we know they got the talent.
Yeah.
We just need to go out there
Stacks,
and
I want to.
execute.
I'm Stacks. I want to see you here in 2 more weeks after you said that. And if you right,
Huh?
yeah, I'm saying I want to see you here because we got the play-ins, so the play-ins will take about a week, and then after
Mm-hmm.
that, saying we should be either done in the midst of our playoff contention as far as with
Oh
Detroit.
yeah.
So with that
Facts. You
said,
gonna see me
I
around,
want to
bro?
see
You gonna
you.
see me?
No, 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 not see you around. I want you to see you right here on the screen. So
Oh yeah,
therefore, we can
facts.
sit.
You gonna see me right here?
So that way we can go back and forth on what I feel like the best coach in in the last 20 20 years, 25 years that we've had. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with
Outside
you.
of you know what I'm saying? So
I
with
agree.
that said,
I agree.
blood, come back, you know what I'm saying? And we sit back and we chop that back up, blood. For real, for real.
Got you, bro. I got you.
Um, listen, man. I just want to say once again, I appreciate all y'all. I thank y'all for bearing with me. It wasn't as bad as I thought it might be. I thought I was gonna have to take 100 different pauses, blowing my nose and yakking over here, but I've been okay. And so I hope to be back to normal next week Saturday. Hope to be back in my home, my normal place of living, and get right.
You getting old, man. That's just allergies. You get older, you get more allergies.
Uh, but I think that we're gonna be all right, guys. Like I said before, there's certain things that bother me a little bit. The fourth quarter execution, I don't love what I've seen. I know that maybe the Knicks have taken the foot off the gas, especially in last night's game. Once they knew that they had already clinched third, I get it. But there's just certain things I want them to clean up. I want them to go out and give Detroit the business, which I think they will. And I think the Knicks, I think if I've ever felt like the Knicks were waiting for their opportunity to shut people up, I think it's this year. I think it's this playoffs. I think they're waiting to get to the playoffs so they can start shutting some people up. I hope I'm right, but we'll see. Um,
Yo,
yeah,
the rope a
Craig, we
dope thing
locked
is
in Detroit.
real.
Yes.
Yo, the rope a dope thing is real, bro. I think we played possum just enough to sucker all these cats in. And we got a game plan for everybody. We finna come into contact.
I'll
I
tell you
hope
right now,
so.
if I'm being honest with everybody, this 100%, I'm not lying. You might say you might be you tripping, Ron. No, 100%, I'm not lying. I feel this. The Knicks are either going to sweep Detroit or win in five, because I'm that confident that the Knicks are a better team than Detroit. Healthy,
I
I think
agree.
they'll run over Detroit.
They should. Yeah, I agree.
And then
And
here's the other thing: if the
ball
Knicks
catch out.
What happened, Corey?
I said Boston's gonna catch hell.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that we got to play Boston prior to having a chance at playing Cleveland if we could, because I think from what I saw in that last game, yeah, I know they didn't have Donovan, I know they didn't have uh their
We
dude off
seen
the bench.
Allen and Mobley is still babies to Mitch. That's what we seen.
I think that the Knicks could.
Facts.
I think a healthy Knicks team could run over Cleveland too. Not like 5 games, like 6 or 7. But I think the Knicks could beat Cleveland too. Healthy. Boston is tricky. Could they beat them? Yes, but Boston is tricky. I ain't gonna lie to you about that. But I'm
But
just
I
thinking,
think
guys.
Boston.
Go ahead.
But Ron, real quick, bro. Boston's gonna catch hell when they play whoever they got. I think it's Orlando.
Right. I agree.
Hmm
Orlando, listen, well, Orlando is gonna give the business to Tatum and as well as what's my man from out here where I'm at? Oh man,
Brown.
Jalen Brown.
Brown been looking
Jalen
a little
Brown.
banged
Yeah,
up lately too.
he is banged up. He going into the playoffs limping, bro. It ain't gonna
Hmm
be. Yo, listen, it ain't gonna be the same. So you
hmm
know, I'm saying they playing shock. Shock, take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, I want my people calling me in Queens talking about they can still hear MSG going bananas.
I hear you. I hear you.
Go ahead, Ron.
I
I'm
just
back.
feel I feel good. I feel
I'm
good
on mute.
about what I have seen. So I'm gonna go by the good, and I saw enough good for a good enough period of time in the game to say that they could keep it up. I was mad about what I saw in the fourth quarter of those games, but I'm like, if they could do this for 3 quarters, if they lock in and they treat every game like it's a must win, I think the Knicks could do some things and surprise a lot of people. So I'm not giving up hope on that. Shout out to
I
Wiz
think this ain't.
BKLA. Thank you for the generous super chat. He said, "Get well, Fate remake has a Fame remake has auditions for the new Leroy." Shut up, yo.
He's so corny. He
People
corny.
don't even know what
I
Fame
told
is
you,
out here. They definitely don't know
yo,
who Leroy is.
Leo.
bro. I told you, where stay off that curry.
You said Saturday. You're supposed
You
to be
know what I'm
cooking
saying?
salmon today, brother.
Yeah, okay,
Anyway,
yeah, okay, whatever.
anyway,
That
I
was
want
not
to
what he
thank.
did last night.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I want to thank everybody once again for being here, rocking with me. Appreciate you guys as always. Hopefully, I'll do a Monday night show, depending on how I feel. But I'm feeling on the up, so I'm feeling good. Um, but I want to thank everybody once again. Also, please, if you haven't already done so, the link is in the chat. Join the Discord. We're chopping it up. We're gonna be chopping it up about these Nick games, but especially we're gonna be chopping it up live as the playoffs happen. We're gonna be talking about what's going on. We're not doing a watch along, but we all will be watching wherever we watch it from, and I will be on my phone talking about different things that I like or don't like in the course of the game. So definitely join the Discord so we could chop it up over there. Appreciate you guys. Thank you once again. Shout out to the
Yo, yo,
chat. Go
yo,
ahead.
Ron, come over there and hang out with us on Playback TV.
I
You
may
know what
I
I'm
may
saying?
pop in for the playback as well. Yeah, I know Freezy puts it on, man. I love
Not
jumping
only
over
that,
there.
but also too, you know what I'm saying? Because I know your man John, you know what I'm saying? He got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? Holla at me. You got my man. You know what I'm saying? I come rock with you. You know what I'm saying? On Monday. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah,
Help
no
you out.
doubt. No doubt, brother. All right. I gotta get Freezy involved too, because Freezy hasn't been on the show in a minute. I gotta get him over there. Yeah, you,
You know,
you reminded me of that.
Freezy been doing triple overtime.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Once again, I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody who jumped on the chat. Once again, solid shout out to Tori B. It was great to see you blessing us with your presence. Your take was dope.
Tory.
I am
Man.
look for that, y'all, because I am going to clip that. You will see that posted somewhere. So appreciate you, Tori, once again. And
Yo,
I just want to say
yo,
thanks to everybody, man.
Stacks, don't get
Yo.
upset because she took your head off. I said,
Huh?
Stacks, don't get upset because she damn sure took your head off.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's
I
cool.
was saying, no, don't
Nice
get upset.
roll.
Nah, Stacks made
I'm playing.
some
I'm playing
fire
with him.
points early, and Tori came in and really made some great
She came in
points.
hot.
So thank you to everybody once
She thought
again.
I was killing Mikhail. I
Appreciate
wasn't even killing Mikhail, Tori. I was talking about Leon. I wasn't killing Mikhail.
y'all. You good?
Hey, yo, Tori, when we put the open link out there, you know what I'm saying? You come on Blowing Tears, yo, and you voice your opinions, yo. You can kind of tell a lot of cabrones out there. Love you, love.
Oh.
That's funny. Kayate a lot of cabros. You funny, Corey. All right, y'all. Once
Hey
again, I
man,
want to thank
I got
y'all.
one
I
for every
appreciate
time you
y'all.
want me.
Hey, man, you know it. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still, Nick fans will be back again, whether it be on Saturdays at 11:30 ish, Mondays at 9 p.m. when it'll be me. Probably just me holding it down for the most part with Jose on the ones and twos. Maybe John, maybe somebody else, special guest. You never know. Um, and
Like
salute
me,
to everybody,
like this
man.
cabron.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go Knicks. Let's get it right, man. Let's continue to believe. Don't get twisted. Don't get caught up in the media. The Knicks are still our team. The Knicks still have a chance to win, and the Knicks haven't put their best foot forward yet. So hold out hope because it's not a pipe dream. The Knicks can really make some stuff happen in the playoffs. So let's keep rocking with them. I'll
Also,
catch you
one
guys
more
on the
thing,
next
one
one.
more thing,
All right.
one more thing. I'm sorry. Yo, come check out Ron's cousins on the Blowing Tears Network, as well as the MBK family. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Queen. You know what I'm saying? What a cute mean self. And you know what I'm saying? And shout out to you know what I'm saying? Oh, yo, and my man, I can't think. Tony Crow. Shout out to all them good people, Joe. Great contact. You know what I'm saying? Funny as H. You know what I'm saying? We just some silly people. You know what I'm saying? We just out here. We love the Knicks Nation. It is what it is. Shout out to Queens get the money and shout out, you know what I'm saying, to the 718 boys and Lawrence Tears. Peace. I'm done.
There you go. All right. There it is. Once again, guys, take care. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy yourselves. Take it easy. Be careful. Stay on top of your health. Do all those good things. And we'll go from there, man. Like I always say, stay up, one yourself, be good at something, or be good at nothing. Now, if you're gonna be good at it. Uh, if you're not gonna be good, should I say, be good at it. See, I'm sick, y'all. I can't even say my catchphrases right. Oh, I'm done. I'm out of here. Peace out, y'all. I'm done.
All right,
Yeah,
y'all.
man. Get up that coffee, man. Leave that
Yeah,
caffeine
yeah. You know
alone.
what? This is for me. This is how Ron feels. Like I can't even do my stuff
See
right.
if I know the ledge.
Right out the window, bro. I'm out here.
Ay,
Later,
Dios
y'all.
mío.
Have a good time. I'm out. Later.
Know the ledge.